Chapter 443. The first floor of the tower was filled with Brahma light. These Brahma lights were healing the female corpse while attacking Ningfan in an attempt to suppress him. Since Ningfan was prepared, it was impossible for him to be hurt by the Brahma light on the first floor. With his strength, he could easily shatter a layer of Brahma light with just a lift of his hand. However, he was unwilling to do so. If he destroys the Brahma light, how would the female corpse heal herself? Ningfan secretly made a hand seal. A layer of jade-colored astral spirit immediately appeared on the surface of his body to protect him. With the astral spirit defense of a jade life body cultivator, the first layer of Brahma light could not hurt Ningfan at all. As he stepped on the 7 treasures glazed stairs, endless Brahma chants resounded in his ears, causing his sea of consciousness to ache slightly. However, the Brahma chants gradually healed the female corpse's sea of consciousness and made her fall into a deep sleep. A corpse devil did not need sleep in the first place. The reason why she fell into a deep sleep was to complete the healing of her sea of consciousness. Enduring the pain, Ningfan's eyes were filled with determination. He carried the sleeping female corpse and stepped into the 2nd floor of the tower. As soon as he stepped into the 2nd floor, a Brahma chants that were a few times stronger than the first floor suddenly pressed down on Ningfan. In front of Ningfan were several golden-armored evil spirits. Each of them had a harmonious spirit realm cultivation base. There were more than 100 of them, and all of them were formed from golden light. They stood in front of Ningfan, preventing him from stepping into the 2nd floor. "You're just a devil spawn. How stubborn. I'll suppress you with my 7 treasures." This voice was obviously the same as the one who spoke on the first floor. The tone was hard and obscure without any emotion. It was as if the speaker was not a living person but an inanimate object. As soon as the Brahma chants were suppressed, it immediately turned into thousands of golden Buddha beads and pressed down on Ningfan's head. Each of the Buddha beads could kill a harmonious spirit realm expert. As soon as the voice gave the order, the 100 harmonious spirit realm evil spirits immediately let out strange roars and attacked Ningfan. Ningfan's eyes flashed with cold light. His black sword sense swept across the area, shattering the golden Buddha beads into traces of golden light. As for the mere 100 harmonious spirit realm evil spirits, how could they withstand Ningfan's sword sense? When the golden light was broken and the evil spirits were eliminated, the emotionless voice also gradually disappeared and stopped attacking Ningfan. If he did not sense wrongly, the owner of that cold voice should be the tower spirit that guards this Buddha tower. Originally, the existence of this pagoda spirit was just to prevent cultivators whose cultivation bases were not high enough from ascending to the higher levels of the pagoda. However, after seeing Ningfan as the true devil, the pagoda spirit instinctively attacked him. I never expected that there would actually be a pagoda spirit within the Buddha's pagoda. Moreover, this pagoda spirit actually launched an attack against me because I possessed the devil blood. I originally only wanted to bring Whaleyang to the pagoda to treat her injuries, but with these unforeseen events, it has caused a lot of trouble. If I'm not wrong, this pagoda spirit ought to be staying on the 7th level of the Buddha pagoda, and it possesses a cultivation at the peak void refinement realm. It's an out-and-out old monster of the void stage, and it's absolutely not something I can go against. However, due to certain reasons, this pagoda spirit can't leave the 7th floor on its own. It can only attack me with Sanskrit and evil spirits. It can't kill me with its own hands. The 7th floor. The 7th floor of the Lost World Tower leads to the 8th dark floor. Moreover, there are 7 time crystals hidden in the 8th dark floor. They are the energy source for the Lost World Tower to accelerate time. This 7th floor of the Buddha's pagoda is guarded by the pagoda spirit. Could there be an 8th floor as well? The Buddha's pagoda is built for healing. Therefore, there must be a supreme healing treasure in the 8th floor which provides endless healing power to the pagoda. With Ningfan's intelligence, he had already deduced many things from the pagoda spirit's behavior of guarding the 7th floor. Originally, he wanted to bring the female corpse with him and slowly treat her injuries in the pagoda. He did not know when he would be able to fully heal her. Now that he had deduced that there was a supreme healing treasure hidden in the pagoda, he must obtain that treasure in order to help the female corpse's sea of consciousness recover. The healing power that the treasure contained was enough to turn the seven-floored pagoda into a holy land for healing injuries. If he obtains this treasure, it would definitely be of great help to the female corpse's injuries. Even though he knew that there was an absolute void stage pagoda spirit on the 7th floor, Ning Fan would not change his mind. Whaleyang, have a good rest. I will go and get the treasure for you and treat your injuries. Ning Fan stroked the sleeping face of the lady in his arms. She was cold and did not have any body temperature, which made Ning Fan feel even more pity for her. In his previous life, Mu Whaleyang was spurned by the divine race because of a butterfly. She was regarded as a traitor by all the immortals and deities and died as a corpse devil. In this life, Ning Fan was going to repay her for what she had done in her previous life. He must help her recover her sea of consciousness and let her smile again. After keeping the female corpse into his cauldron ring, Ning Fan's body emitted a strong killing intent. It was an unstoppable determination. So what if it's the spirit of the Absolute Void Tower? It's just an inanimate object after all. Why should I be afraid? With a single step, he turned into a wisp of smoke and went to the 3rd floor, the 4th floor and the 5th floor. Gold Core Realm Evil Ghosts kill. Nascent Soul Realm Evil Ghosts kill. Spirit Severing Realm Evil Ghosts kill. The glazed floor was covered with flesh and blood of corpses. Ning Fan stepped on the fresh blood and crushed all the Brahma light. Then he stood for a while in the empty 5th floor. He did not immediately enter the 6th floor because he understood that once he enters the 6th floor of the pagoda, he would probably be attacked by Void Refinement Realm Evil Ghosts. It had been a month since he left the Black Lightning Tower. The devil chi on Ning Fan's primordial spirit had been forced out bit by bit. Now he could once again transform into his ancient devil body. This time, entering the 6th and 7th floors would be extremely dangerous. Thus, Ning Fan must give it his all. Amidst the surging devil chi, Ning Fan transformed into a revered devil in black robes. He had a devil horn on his head, a pair of devil wings on his back and a devil eye on his glabella. Amidst the flashes of lightning, Ning Fan summoned his lightning armor. His defensive power rose to an extremely terrifying level. Amidst the dazzling starlight, Ning Fan summoned his natal black stars. 99 black stars hovered above his head. Amidst the layers of golden shadows, Ning Fan split into 2 phantoms of golden bodies. All of a sudden, he had 2 more golden body refining realm subordinates. Soul extraction. After doing all that, Ning Fan still felt that it was not enough. He clawed with his 5 fingers and extracted all the souls of the earth. Outside the pagoda, inside the 6-winged clan, the ground began to collapse. The waves were filled with countless undercurrents and whirlpools. All the members of the 6-winged clan including Xian Yi were stunned. They did not know what had happened inside the pagoda that made someone perform the soul extraction technique. Yu Linghong's eyes were filled with worry. She wanted to enter the pagoda to investigate, but she stopped herself. This won't do. I have to trust little Cucumber. He has countless methods to protect himself. Even if something unexpected happens inside the pagoda, he will be fine. As for me, I have to stay here to protect him. If someone destroys the formation light while I'm not here, the pagoda won't be able to open anymore. On the 5th floor of the pagoda, Ning Fan did not stop after making all the necessary preparations. With an unstoppable aura force, he stepped into the 6th floor. The moment he stepped into the 6th floor, 108 malevolent spirits clad in golden armor appeared one after another. Each of them had a cultivation base above the Void Refinement Realm. All of their killing intent locked onto Ning Fan. Among the 108 Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits, 72 of them were at the Void Glimpse stage while 36 were at the Void Inquiry stage. Even a Void Pierce stage or Absolute Void stage cultivator would certainly be in an extremely dangerous situation if they were to be besieged by so many malevolent spirits. Ning Fan, however, did not stop at all. The moment he entered the 6th floor, he activated the Heaven-Deceiving Cloak and moved stealthily towards the 7th floor. The Heaven-Deceiving Cloak could even block off Void Fragmentation Realm Spirit sense. Seeing Ning Fan suddenly disappear, the 108 malevolent spirits were bewildered. The tower spirit that was guarding the 7th floor was also startled when it saw Ning Fan's disappearance. Then it shouted out a Sanskrit word, swastika. That Sanskrit word came from the 7th floor. It was just one floor away from the 6th floor. Its destructive force was infinitely close to the void fragmentation realm. It exploded on the 6th floor and attacked indiscriminately. Ning Fan's expression changed. He did not expect that the tower spirit would actually launch such a large-scale attack in an attempt to force him out of his concealment. All of a sudden, the shadows of tens of thousands of gems appeared in all directions. There were silver stones, golden stones, colored glass, crystals, shells, corals, and amber. Each of the magnificent gems carried a force that was like a falling meteor, which was equivalent to the full force attack of a void glimpse stage cultivator. Each of the malevolent spirits was hit by the gems and suffered severe injuries. Ning Fan was also hit by tens of gems. A wave of bone-piercing pain spread throughout his entire body. His 3rd-level golden lightning armor actually cracked under the attack of the tower spirit from a distance. It seemed like the gems had the ability to penetrate armor. Tens of massive forces landed on Ning Fan's chest, and even left a Sanskrit word, swastika, mark on his body, breaking his concealment. When Ning Fan's concealment was broken, his eyes were filled with astonishment. The magic technique of this tower spirit could manifest tens of thousands of gems. Among them, the attack of tens of gems was already comparable to the destructive power of Ning Fan's strongest magic technique. Moreover, this was just a casual attack from the tower spirit from a distance. If Ning Fan faces the tower spirit head-on, he probably would not have any chance of winning without using the steel of sun and moon. An absolute void stage expert was indeed powerful. However, if there is only one of them, it might not be impossible to kill him. The Sanskrit word swastika mark was slightly troublesome. Even with the power of samsara, it would take him quite some time to erase the mark and conceal himself again. After Ning Fan's concealment was broken, the injured malevolent spirits once again surrounded Ning Fan and attacked him, blocking his path to the 7th floor. As for the tower spirit, it seemed like it had consumed a lot of its magic power to break Ning Fan's concealment. Thus, it did not continue to attack. Since he could no longer conceal himself, Ning Fan had no other choice but to kill his way out. In his demonized state, Ning Fan's physical body was comparable to King Yinglong's. He was extremely strong. When he displayed his powerful body techniques, ordinary void inquiry stage old monsters would not be able to withstand them at all. Moreover, many of the 108 Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits were injured by the tower spirit's magic techniques. Void Technique, Double Dragon. Void Technique, Moon-Tearing Dragon. Punches were thrown out one after another. Moonlight Dragon claws tore through the air, repelling the attacks of the Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits. Each of his Dao body techniques could reap the life of a severely injured Void Glimpse stage expert. However, these Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits did not seem to know fear. All of them were willing to exchange their lives for Ning Fan's. They wanted to leave injuries on Ning Fan's body even if they were to self-detonate. This was a battle of life and death. Being surrounded and attacked by 108 Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits, there was no technique to speak of. All of them could only fight to the death with all their might. The 2 golden figures were quickly annihilated in the midst of this massacre. Even though the defense of the lightning armor was heaven-defying, it could not withstand the overwhelming number of enemies. After killing more than 10 Void Glimpse stage experts and 2 Void Inquiry stage experts, the lightning armor was finally on the verge of breaking. The crack that was created by the tower spirit grew larger and larger. Eventually, it crumbled into pieces. Fortunately, this lightning armor was just a magic technique and not a magic treasure. After this battle, Ning Fan could condense his primordial lightning again to form the lightning armor. There was no such thing as it being destroyed. However, losing the lightning armor now was just too disadvantageous for Ning Fan. Without the defense of the lightning armor, every desperate attack of the malevolent spirits was enough to leave serious injuries on Ning Fan's body. In just a few breaths' time, Ning Fan's body was already covered in wounds. His black robes were stained with blood. Even his natal black stars could not heal the injuries caused by more than 90 Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits in time. Even so, many of these Void Refinement Realm malevolent spirits were severely injured. and their combat power was greatly reduced. Roar! Ning Fan let out a devil roar. He knew that he could no longer be entangled with these malevolent spirits. He must head to the 7th floor immediately. In his senses, there was only a trace of ferocious chi of the tower spirit on the 7th floor. As long as I enter the 7th floor, and suppress the tower spirit with a single attack of the steel of sun and moon, I will get the treasures. Yellow Dragon 7 tokens. Suppress. Ning Fan stared at the entrance of the 7th floor that was far away from him. His eyes flashed with determination. He patted his storage pouch, took out 7 yellow jade tokens and tossed them to the sky. The 7 jade tokens were all mid-grade mortal void realm treasures. With Ning Fan's current magic power, he was far from being able to use them. Traces of his blood essence seeped into the jade tokens. Even after damaging himself, he could only activate half of the power of the jade tokens. Even so, the combined destructive power of the 7 tokens was already infinitely close to a void pierce stage attack. The 7 layers of yellow skies pressed down. Each and every one of the malevolent spirits let out blood-curdling screams. Some of them were severely injured while some of them were directly crushed into meat paste. Ning Fan was not in the mood to check the casualties of the malevolent spirits. He kept the jade tokens and finally managed to carve out a path of blood. With a flash of traveling light, he dashed into the 7th floor. Impossible. The moment Ning Fan stepped into the 7th floor, a stiff and cold voice resounded from the 7th floor. For the first time, it revealed an expression of disbelief. It could never imagine that Ning Fan, who was just a half-step void refinement realm cultivator, could actually kill his way into the 7th floor. There were no deadly battles that Ning Fan had expected. The 7th floor was an empty Buddhist hall. There was only an ancient statue made of pure gold standing tall. It was already in a dilapidated state. Ning Fan understood that this statue was the tower spirit that guarded the 7 floors of the pagoda. This statue was already in such a dilapidated state. It was no wonder that it had to wait for a long time before it could launch another attack. Ning Fan had overestimated this tower spirit. There was no need for him to use the void fragmentation realm attack of the steel of sun and moon to deal with an absolute void tower spirit that was at the end of its tether. As soon as the ancient statue saw Ning Fan enter the 7th floor, its eyes shot out layers of Brahma light which turned into tens of thousands of dazzling gemstones. All of them carried Buddha light and pressed down on Ning Fan's head. Ancient devil, you must die. The attack came too fast. It was an absolute void realm attack, which was enough to kill Ning Fan. There was no way for him to avoid it. Suddenly, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with the light of his plan succeeding. His figure instantly disappeared from where he stood. He had entered the profound Yin world. All the attacks missed their targets and struck onto the Buddha's pagoda, and they almost destroyed the pagoda. It disappeared? Where did it go? Even if it hides in a heavenly dwelling magic treasure, it will still be crushed by the 7 treasures. Could it be that this devil is hiding in a small Kiliacosm cosmos treasure? The ancient statue was puzzled. When the smoke and dust dispersed, Ning Fan slowly got out of the profound Yin world. He looked at the ancient statue which could not launch any attacks for the time being, and did not give any explanation. He would not give any explanation to a person who was about to die. It would be best if he could kill the tower spirit with a trick. Ning Fan touched his glabella. The Separation Slayer flying sword turned into layers of sword shadows, which crushed the dilapidated ancient statue. At the moment when the ancient statue was destroyed, the spiritual power of the entire Buddha tower greatly decreased. All the evil ghosts summoned by the tower spirit struggled, and turned into golden light before disappearing. When the ancient statue was destroyed, a door of light immediately appeared on the wall behind it. It must be the entrance to the 8th floor, which was where the supreme healing treasures were stored. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan directly stepped into the door of light. This Buddha tower was a gift from the Kunlun Jade Pool to the 6-Winged clan. It no longer belonged to the Jade Pool. That was why the tower spirit of this tower was so dilapidated and weak. That was why Ning Fan dared to kill the ghosts and seize the treasures in public after knowing that there were treasures in this tower. He was not worried about offending the Kunlun Jade Pool at all, and did not have any psychological burden. The 8th floor of the Buddha Tower was different from the 8th floor of the Lost World Tower. There were 7 jade platforms with 7 treasures which were glowing with Brahma light. All of them had great healing power. However, there were no formations or spiritual puppets to protect them. This was a tower that was given to someone else. The jade pool naturally would not spend too much effort to protect the 7 treasures. If they want to set up a defense, it should be set up by one of the 6-winged clan's ancestors who had obtained the tower. After dispersing his devilization state, Ningfan's white robes were stained with blood. His injuries were rather serious, but he wore a satisfied smile. He could feel the shocking healing power from the 7 treasures. They were the 7 relics which were left behind by a true Buddha. They were in the form of gold, silver, colored glass, crystal, shell, amber and coral respectively. Ningfan thought that if he consumes one of the 7 relics, he would be able to recover instantly even if his injuries were twice as serious. However, he was reluctant to consume the 7 relics because they were all prepared by the female corpse. Keep. Ningfan flicked his sleeves and kept the 7 relics. All of a sudden, the Buddha Tower trembled and lost all of its spiritual power. The 7 floors of the tower no longer had any healing effect. How could this be? Outside the Buddha Tower, Great Elder Xian Yi, who was waiting outside, almost had the urge to puke blood. He had lent the Buddha Tower to Ningfan, but he did not expect that Ningfan would actually break the tower and it could no longer be used to treat injuries. On one hand, Xian Yi was really distressed by the destruction of the Buddha Tower. On the other hand, he was greatly shocked. The Buddha Tower was considered as the greatest treasure of the 6-winged clan. It was not something that anyone could destroy at will. It was said that the tower spirit with an absolute void stage cultivation base was guarding it. If you want to destroy this tower, you would at least have to eliminate the absolute void tower spirit. Other than void fragmentation realm old monsters, who else could do such a thing? Moreover, Xian Yi could not figure out Ningfan's motive for destroying the Buddha Tower at all. Didn't Ningfan want to use the tower to treat the female corpse? What benefits would he get by destroying the Buddha Tower? I can't figure it out. Could it be that the Buddha Tower wasn't destroyed by revered Ming? Because it doesn't make sense. Xian Yi was also uncertain about what exactly happened in the Buddha Tower, and whether it was Ningfan who destroyed it or not. Sensing that Ningfan's qi was still in the tower, no one dared to enter the tower to investigate. They could only wait for him to come out of the tower and ask him about it. On the 8th floor of the Buddha Tower, Ningfan summoned the female corpse. He held her in his arms and sat on the floor. Previously, he was not confident that he could heal the female corpse's sea of consciousness. Now that he had seized the 7 relics of the Buddha Tower, he was confident that he could heal her in one go. Ningfan stuffed the 7 relics into the female corpse's mouth one by one. As soon as the 7 relics entered her stomach, traces of healing power that was enough to bring the dead back to life spread throughout her delicate body. The corpse devil's body had lost its life force and had no physiological activities. Originally, the injuries that she suffered could only be repaired but not healed. However, the 7 relics seemed to have given her life force, allowing her injuries to be healed one by one. For the first time, her pale face showed the redness of a normal woman. For the first time, her cold little hands carried the warmth of a normal woman. Her sea of consciousness was recovering bit by bit. In her dried-up immortal veins, traces of magic power were being generated. This is resurrection. Ningfan's eyes widened in surprise. This scene was out of his expectation, but he was overjoyed. When he seized the relics, he only wanted to heal the female corpse's sea of consciousness. He did not think that she could come back to life because she lacked 3 souls and 7 spirits. However, at this moment, the 7 relics entered her body and provided her with endless life force. The female corpse's body was indeed showing signs of life. Light. Cold. The female corpse's brows were tightly knitted together. It was the first time she felt pain. In the past, she was a corpse devil. She did not have any senses. She could not feel pain, cry, feel cold or shed tears of sadness. Today, however, she actually said that she felt cold in her sleep. Her body began to feel cold again and became weak. Ningfan did not know what had happened. Ningfan used his spirit sense to examine her body. Soon, he found out that the reason why the female corpse said that she felt cold was because she was a dead person and a woman. The yin qi in her body was too strong, and she needed some yang blood to provide some yang qi. Without any hesitation, Ning Fan waved the Separation Slayer sword and cut his arm. Then, he fed the blood into the female corpse's mouth. The female corpse's sharp teeth bit Ning Fan's arm, and unconsciously sucked his blood. Ning Fan's blood was too delicious. It was even more delicious than the blood of other Divine Transformation Realm and Void Refinement Realm old monsters. It was the most perfect blood. The female corpse was still a corpse devil after all. How could she resist the temptation of flesh and blood? In her sleep, she bit a large piece of flesh from Ning Fan's arm. Hiss! Ning Fan took a cold breath. The sudden pain made him frown slightly. However, he immediately let go of her hand with a loving expression. She was a corpse devil. Ning Fan would not blame her for making a mistake unconsciously. After consuming a piece of Ning Fan's flesh, the yang qi in her body was already sufficient. She revealed a satisfied smile and fell asleep. She showed signs of resurrection after consuming the 7 relics. However, he did not know how long it would take for her to be completely resurrected. It might be 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, or even 1,000 years. This time, no matter how long she slept, Ning Fan would wait for the day she wakes up and reunite with her for Real. At that time, she would be the real Mu Weiliang. She would be a living person and not a corpse devil. With a flick of his finger, Ning Fan temporarily stopped the bleeding on his arm. He did not have the time to deal with the wound. Instead, he carefully held the female corpse's hand and began to massage her arm. Gradually, he massaged her entire body to help her relax her muscles and blood circulation. From today onwards, you are no longer a female corpse. You are the real Mu Weiliang. Ning Fan revealed an expectant expression. He was looking forward to Mu Weiliang's awakening. In his previous life, he was the butterfly while she was the daughter of the Heaven Emperor. She died for him and he died for her. In this life, he had already reincarnated into a human while her 3 spiritual and 7 physical souls turned into Jiha and saved him once again. Whether she was Jiha or Mu Weiliang, Ning Fan would never let her suffer any harm. In order to protect her, he still needed to constantly improve his cultivation base. You gave me a pair of butterfly wings and I promised you a lifetime without any conflicts. I promise. Chapter 444. 3 months had passed but Ning Fan had never left the Buddha Tower. He held Mu Weiliang's hand and transferred his magical energy bit by bit, helping her to refine the 7 true Buddha relics. That's right, it was only the initial refinement. Only when the 7 relics were completely refined would Mu Weiliang be completely resurrected. Even though she was still unconscious, Mu Weiliang could clearly feel the warmth from Ning Fan's palm. Light, wait for me. In her dream, she spoke in her sleep. She was looking forward to this true reunion. 150 million years of slumber in exchange for a glimpse of the Star Palace was far from enough to comfort him. She missed Ning Fan very much. She really missed him. She knew that only the real Su Xing was qualified to stay by Ning Fan's side. In just 3 months of deep sleep, Mu Weiliang's consciousness had recovered by 1%. Perhaps in another 20 or 30 years, she would completely awaken. Ning Fan could wait. He could. For cultivators, 20 to 30 years of time was but a blink of an eye. The 30 years that Ning Fan had waited for her for was just too insignificant compared to the 150 million years that she had waited for him. He took out the ancient green jade coffin. It was the ancient coffin that accompanied Mu Weiliang for countless lonely days and nights. With Ning Fan's current knowledge, he could see that this green coffin was as mysterious as the heaven-avoiding coffin that the old monster used to store his beloved. It wasn't that the materials used to make the coffin were precious, but rather that the coffin contained the variables of the heavenly Daos. It could conceal the mysteries of the heavens, deceive the living, and possess the miraculous effect of nourishing life force. In the coffin, there was an obscure spirit sense. That spirit sense contained a kind of melancholy emotion. With Ning Fan's current cultivation base, he could vaguely sense it. The aura of this spirit sense, its Weiliang. Ning Fan remained silent. He finally understood why Nanyang Zi could not open the green coffin, but he could directly open it. This was because before Mu Weiliang died, she laid down in the green coffin and sealed herself in it. This was because Mu Weiliang had set up her divine sense to only allow the person she was waiting for to open the coffin and bring her into this world. She was waiting for Ningfan. This coffin could prevent the vitality of the body of the person lying in it from dissipating. Even after 100 million years, the body would not rot. To Mu Weiliang, who was waiting to be resurrected, the more life force in her body the better. Sleeping in the green coffin required less time than sleeping in the outside world. Ningfan placed Mu Weiliang into the green coffin and closed the lid. Then he carefully placed her in the Yuanyao world. In order to give Mu Weiliang a quiet environment for her resurrection, Ningfan had even moved the corpse of the realm beast which had been cut into two in the Yuanyao world into a certain unused space covered in red mist in his cauldron ring. In the Star Palace, Ningfan had once found the herb garden of the ancient heavenly court. It was already in ruins. However, the female corpse at that time liked the herb garden very much and begged Ningfan to take it away. Ningfan moved the medicinal garden into the Yuanyao world and filled it with various spiritual herbs. He then placed the green coffin at the center of the medicinal garden where the butterflies were dancing. If one day, when Mu Weiliang woke up, the first thing she would see would be her favorite herb garden and her favorite scenery. 3 months later, Ningfan left the Buddha Tower with injuries all over his body. If he still doesn't come out, Yu Lingkong would probably be worried. For 3 whole months, Ningfan had always been busy with Mu Weiliang's resurrection. He actually did not have the time to deal with the injuries on his body. The devil chi in his primordial spirit had already dissipated. He could turn into a devil again at any time. The thousands of wounds on his body were also healed under Ningfan's almost monstrous self-healing ability. Only a row of tiny teeth marks remained on his arm. They were bitten by Mu Weiliang. Ningfan was reluctant to erase those scars. When Ningfan left the Buddha Tower safely, Yu Lingkong, who had been guarding him for 3 months, finally heaved a sigh of relief. Seeing Ningfan walk out alone without bringing Mu Weiliang with him, she was a little worried. "Little cucumber, where's Weiliang? Is she all right?" "Put it down. She's fine. She's much better than I imagined. As for you, after not seeing you for 3 months, you seem to have lost some weight." Ningfan caressed Yu Lingkong's face. When he saw that she looked haggard, he said with concern, Let's go and have a rest. As for fellow Taoist Xian, I know you have a lot of questions to ask me. I will meet you 3 days later." Ningfan knew that even if Xian Yi did not dare to be dissatisfied with him for destroying the Buddha Tower, he would certainly ask him about the reason. He did not want to tell Xian Yi about him taking away the 7 relics. However, he did not have the intention to hide the fact that he destroyed the Buddha Tower either. He kept the 4 spiritual puppets and pulled Yu Lingkong up. The 2 of them left openly in front of the group of 6-winged clan experts. No one dared to stop them. Ningfan did not leave the 6-winged clan. He just returned to the guest house. This made Xian Yi feel relieved. He did not give up on his plan to rely on Ningfan. After the life and death battle in the Buddha Tower, Ningfan did not even change his clothes. His entire body was still stained with blood. Under Yu Lingkong's service, Ningfan took a bath and changed his clothes. Then he slept on the same bed as her. With Yu Lingkong's arrogance, she had never bathed anyone in her entire life. However, when Ningfan made a request, she realized to her dismay that it was getting harder and harder for her to refuse his request. Damn it! I'm actually being controlled by little cucumber. This isn't normal. While she was cursing and swearing, she helped Ningfan wash his whole body. What an awkward personality. When she was dragged onto the bed by Ningfan, she actually did not refuse him. This made her feel incredulous. Could it be that she subconsciously desired for something to happen between them? "Little cucumber, I want to sleep alone. I'm tired." She did not mean what she said. "I know you're tired. You've been guarding me for 3 months. It's been hard on you. Aren't I here to compensate you?" Ningfan's lips curved into an ambiguous smile. "Compensation? Humph. I don't need any compensation." Yu Lingkong's brows turned cold. She was very dissatisfied with Ningfan's behavior. Could it be that I, Yu Lingkong, am an outsider in Ningfan's eyes? Does he need compensation for helping me with some small matters? Why is he treating me like an outsider? Are you sure you don't want any compensation? Ning Fan's eyes became even deeper. No. Get lost. If it wasn't because Yu Lingkong was sleeping at the side of the bed, she really wanted to kick Ning Fan off the bed. How dare he treat her like an outsider? He must be tired of living. You don't even want to compensate me with my body? Ning Fan enunciated the word body very clearly. All of a sudden, all of Yu Lingkong's anger was suppressed in her stomach, causing her face to turn red. What do you mean by compensating me with my body? She actually wanted this compensation. It's this. Ning Fan's large hands wandered around Yu Lingkong's delicate body. He turned around and pressed his body against hers, sealing her lips. As if she was electrocuted, Yu Lingkong's body instantly softened. Her cheeks were burning hot. Even though she had done it with Ning Fan once, she was doing it with the body of a virgin at that time. She was only left with the pain of being torn apart. Moreover, she was completely unconscious during the latter half of the process. She did not know how to respond to Ning Fan's kiss at all. The buttons on her clothes fell off one after another. The hem of her creased skirt was also lifted by Ning Fan. His palm had already reached the wet and tender area between her legs. Yu Lingkong let out a soft moan. Her long and narrow eyes were filled with lust as if water was dripping out of them. Little cucumber. I've told you before that I'm going to fuck you until you want nothing more. Don't even think about sleeping tonight. Yu Lingkong had always been tough. She turned around and pressed Ning Fan under her body. She actually wanted to take over his body. Up to you. Ning Fan was speechless. He had a feeling that he would be raped by Yu Lingkong tonight. However, a moment later, he felt the heat on his lower body piercing into a piece of soft and moist flesh. All of a sudden Ning Fan thought, so what if I'm raped by Yu Lingkong? After all, I'm sure that I won't lose anything. He flicked his finger and extinguished the candle flame with a gust of wind. The room became dark. Waves of panting and moaning lit up the night sky. 3 days later, Yu Lingkong, who looked radiant, accompanied Ning Fan to look for Xian Yi. During these 3 days, Ning Fan condensed his primordial lightning armor once again. He erased the Buddhist seal of the swastika character and recovered the invisibility ability of the heaven-deceiving cloak. During these 3 days, Ning Fan slept on the same bed with Yu Lingkong every night. He tried his best to serve her until she was comfortable. Yu Lingkong's first time had left a huge shadow in his heart. This shadow had already been erased during the 3 nights of pleasure. What replaced it were memories that made her wish she was dead. Little cucumber, not bad. You're the man whose endurance is the longest that I've ever seen. Yu Lingkong's tone was rather boastful, as if she had experienced a lot of sexual intercourse. In reality, she had only had intimate contact with Ning Fan a few times. What she said was obviously just trying to look impressive. I cultivate the yin-yang transformation. Plucking yin is my strength. If you like to last longer, I can even last longer. I'm just afraid that you won't be able to endure it and beg for mercy again. Ning Fan's lips curved into a playful smile. During these 3 nights, Yu Lingkong was considered to have received her first sexual intercourse. She had begged for mercy many times. Will I beg for mercy from you? You must have misheard me. Just you wait. I'm going to teach you a lesson tonight. Yu Lingkong was so angry that she gritted her teeth. She was still unconvinced. Today, she must fuck Ning Fan until he begged for mercy to save her face. Young Master Zhou and Venerated Moon really have a good relationship. It really makes me envious. The conversation between the two was overheard by a woman who interrupted them. That lady was wearing a pink dress. She walked towards them in an enchanting manner with an inexplicable smile. Her long hair was coiled into a bun. A jade hairpin was loosened and a golden hairpin was inserted into the bun. Her long pearl ornaments hung down from her head, giving off a gentle clanking sound in the breeze. Her skin was snow white and her cheeks were rosy. Her beautiful eyes were filled with lust and desire. On the left side of her face, there was a violet tattoo that extended into her hair, adding a bit of seductiveness to her appearance. Miss, you are. Ning Fan was slightly surprised. He should have never seen this lady in the Six-Winged Clan. However, The eyes of this lady were enchanting and charming. They were obviously filled with respect and admiration for Ning Fan. Obviously, she had seen him before. Ning Fan sensed a trace of familiar aura. After thinking carefully, he immediately understood who the beautiful lady in front of him was. This demonic-looking lady turned out to be that lady from before. So it's Miss Fanqi. I didn't expect that you have already successfully reconstructed your physical body. In just 3 months, you managed to reconstruct your physical body, and moreover, the reconstruction is almost flawless. I'm sure the Six-Winged Clan must have paid a huge price to help you reconstruct your physical body. With your identity, I don't think you should receive such respectful treatment, right? Ning Fan's furrowed brows relaxed. The lady in front of him was undoubtedly the primordial spirit realm female cultivator, whom he had casually saved previously. Fanqi. He did not expect that Fanqi, who was in her primordial spirit state, would actually have such a beautiful appearance after she reconstructed her physical body, which was only slightly inferior to Yu Lingkong. Somehow, after Fanqi reconstructed her physical body, Ning Fan faintly felt that the subtle connection between him and her had become even closer. When he saw Fanqi, the diagram of the 6 wings in the devil marks on his back suddenly became scorching hot. I have just reconstructed my physical body. I didn't expect that young Master Zhou would actually not recognize me. It seems like Fanqi is not worth mentioning in young Master's heart. The women of the devil race were even more open-minded than the women of the demon race. Fanqi's words actually contained a hint of flirting with Ning Fan. However, the hint of disappointment in her eyes was not fake. It seemed like Ning Fan not recognizing her really made her feel a little disappointed. As soon as she thought of Xian Yi's order, Fanqi calmed herself down and said with seductive eyes, "Young Master, please follow me. The Great Elder has been waiting for young Master in the Feather Forest Palace since early morning. He has something to tell young Master." "Fellow Daoist Xian, are you going to tell me the secret that I mentioned just now? I'm very curious about what secret fellow Daoist Xian has that can move my heart and make me accept the 6-Winged Clan. I don't know what the Great Elder wants to tell me. However, I don't think it will disappoint young Master." Fanqi shook her head. She did not know what the Great Elder was thinking. While they were talking, the 3 of them had already arrived at the Feather Forest Palace. This place had always been the most secretive place of the 6-Winged Clan. However, there was no one guarding it today. All the guards had been withdrawn by Xian Yi. Perhaps he was afraid that others might hear the secret. Xian Yi, on the other hand, trusted Ning Fan. He was not afraid that he would be killed by Ning Fan alone. That's right. Currently, Xian Yi was just a half-step void refinement realm cultivator. If Ning Fan really has the intention to harm them, how could they stop him from harming them even if they have a few more guards? The 3 of them stopped outside the Feather Forest Palace. Fanqi bowed politely and was about to leave. Her eyes secretly glanced at Ning Fan with some inexplicable feelings. "We've arrived at the Feather Forest Palace. Young Master Zhou and Venerated Moon, please come in. I'm only responsible for leading the way. I don't have the right to listen to your conversation. I'll take my leave first." "Wait. Fanqi, come in too. The matter we're discussing today is related to you." Xian Yi's voice resounded from the Feather Forest Palace, as if he had made a difficult decision. Understood. Fanqi naturally did not dare to disobey the Great Elder's order. She followed Ning Fan and Yu Lingkong and pushed the door open and entered the palace together. However, she took a few steps back because of her status. She did not dare to walk side by side with the 2 of them. Ning Fan's eyes revealed a thoughtful look. He was trying to guess what the secret that Xian Yi was referring to was, and how it was related to Fanqi. Xian Yi was not in a hurry to speak. He seemed to still be making up his mind. He waited on the small red clay stove and brewed spiritual tea. After that, he distributed the tea to everyone. After brewing the tea and drinking the tea, Ning Fan's expression was still calm and composed. He sipped the spiritual tea with Yu Lingkong. Xian Yi, on the other hand, smiled bitterly. He could not sit still anymore. He put down the spiritual tea and cupped his fists at Ning Fan. "Fellow Daoist Zhou, may I ask what happened inside the Buddha Tower? Why was the tower destroyed?" "I don't know." Ning Fan smiled and sipped his tea. He only answered with "I don't know," and pushed all the responsibility away. Ningfan believed that Xianyi had investigated the ruins of the Buddha Tower after the incident. However, he certainly could not find any clues about the tower's destruction. Ningfan also believed that even if he did not say anything, Xianyi would not continue to pursue the matter regarding the Buddha Tower. Xianyi was a smart man. The Buddha Tower had already been destroyed and the six-winged clan had already declined. It was not worthwhile for him to offend a terrifying enemy like Ningfan just because of a destroyed tower. What made Xianyi hesitant was also not the matter regarding the Buddha Tower. Since Ningfan did not want to talk about it, he was also happy not to ask about it. What he was going to say next was the main topic. Fellow Taoist, since you don't know the cause of the Buddha Tower's destruction, I suppose the destruction of the Buddha Tower was just an accident, just like the destruction of the devil's statue. It has nothing to do with you. In fact, what I want to talk to you about today is also not the Buddha Tower. Now the six-winged clan is in a precarious situation. It is in danger of being divided by the Mist Horn clan and the Ghost Eye clan at any time. I sincerely ask fellow Taoist Zhou to consider and accept the affiliation of my six-winged clan. What benefits do I get from accepting the affiliation of the six-winged clan? Ningfan put down the teacup and his eyes turned serious. Whether he would accept the affiliation of the six-winged clan or not would depend on whether Xianyi's following words could move his heart. Fellow Taoist, have you heard of Great Emperor Mo Luo, one of the 9 ancient devil ancestors? I've heard a little about it. Then have you heard that Great Emperor Mo Luo has 4 great slaves? They are Zhu Mo Lu Yi Gui Mu and Lan Jiao. I've never heard of them. Ningfan lied. The 4 great slave clans were a great secret. It was only reasonable for him not to have heard of them. Is that so? Fellow Taoist, you might not know about it, but the ancestor of my six-winged clan was once the slave of Great Emperor Mo Luo. Of course, the process of becoming a slave is a little unbearable. However, ever since my ancestor became a slave, every generation of my six-winged clan was born with Mo Luo's slave marks. Our lives and deaths can be decided by Mo Luo with a single word. Previously, I was reluctant to hand over the devil statue slate, because it might contain the method to break the slave marks. Unexpectedly, I still couldn't keep the slate in the end. Xianyi sighed. Ningfan, however, remained unmoved and said indifferently, "In the cultivation world, the strong survive and the weak die. If there are battles, there will naturally be winners and losers. Even though fellow Taoist Xian has lost the slate, at least you managed to keep the six-winged clan from being annihilated. It can be considered as a blessing. Fellow Taoist is right. Now that the slate has been lost, I no longer have any interest in breaking the slave marks. Even though the six-winged clan is lucky enough to survive thanks to fellow Taoist's reputation. Once fellow Taoist leaves the six-winged clan, I don't know how many people will be willing to come and divide my clan. My six-winged clan indeed needs fellow Taoist's protection. A straightforward person doesn't beat around the bush. Fellow Taoist Xian, just tell me directly, what secrets are you willing to give in exchange for my protection?" Ningfan shook his head and said straightforwardly, "If fellow Taoist Zhou is willing to accept the six-winged clan, I can give an order to betroth Elder Fenqi to you as your concubine." Concubine. Both Ningfan and Yu Lingkong wore astonished expressions. Could it be that Xianyi is planning to obtain Ningfan's protection by offering a beautiful woman? No, that's not right. When Ningfan recalled the strange feeling of connection between him and Fenqi, he suddenly realized something. Although Fenqi's cultivation base was not high, her identity must be somewhat special. Great Elder, Fenqi's cheeks were thoroughly red. She immediately stood up and was at a loss of what to do. She had never thought that the Great Elder would betroth her to someone else. Xianyi waved his hand and interrupted Fenqi's words. When he saw Ningfan's calm expression, he nodded his head. The calmness in his eyes showed that Ningfan was not bewitched by her beauty. If Fenqi was just a beautiful woman, she would not be able to move him. It meant that Ningfan had more or less seen or guessed that Fenqi's identity was special. That was why he did not immediately reject her request. Ningfan was waiting for Xianyi's explanation. Of course, it was about Fenqi's identity. If Ningfan was not mistaken, The secret that Xianyi was going to tell him today was definitely related to Fenqi, fellow Taoist. Do you know that all the members of the 4 great enslaved clans are born with the slave marks on their bodies except for one woman? Every few generations, a woman will be born in the 4 clans. She will not be invaded by the slave marks, and she is born with a special ability that can help the devil race increase their strength. She is the key person for the prosperity of the 4 great enslaved clans. In the era when Great Emperor Mo Lua was still alive, once such a woman appears, she will be conferred the title of Devil Concubine. Only when a devil concubine dies can the next one be born. There is no direct connection between the 2 generations of devil concubines. In the same era, the 4 great enslaved clans can give birth to 4 great devil concubines. Fenqi is the devil concubine of my 6-winged clan. In the entire 6-winged clan, I am the only one who knows about this secret. As soon as Xianyi finished speaking, he looked at Fenqi deeply and sighed helplessly. It was as if marrying Fenqi to Ningfan would be a great loss to the 6-winged clan. Devil concubine? Ningfan's eyes scanned across Fenqi and revealed a surprised expression. Fenqi's identity was really beyond Ningfan's expectation. Besides, Ningfan also wanted to know what benefits the identity of Fenqi's devil concubine would bring to him, and how it would allow his strength to skyrocket. Chapter 445. In the 6-winged clan, every corner was filled with the joy of surviving a disaster. In exchange for Fenqi, Ningfan accepted the affiliation of the 6-winged clan. Countless experts of the 6-winged clan heaved a sigh of relief as they no longer had to worry about being annexed by other clans. After accepting the affiliation, Ningfan became the leader of the 6-winged clan. He immediately emptied the immortal jade of the 6-winged clan, which amounted to more than 1 billion immortal jades. The news of Ningfan becoming the leader of the 6-winged clan was purposely spread by the 6-winged clan. Ningfan's identity was special. Even Prince Lan Ling, the Mist Horn clan and the Ghost Eye clan had to be wary of him, and would not openly deal with the 6-winged clan. However, this kind of behavior, which was similar to giving away a daughter to someone else, was unfair to Fenqi. She had a peerless appearance and a divine transformation realm cultivation base. She had a bright future ahead of her. However, she was given to Ningfan as a concubine by the 6-winged clan, just because of her identity as a devil concubine. Her fate was unfair. However, in order for her clan to continue and for the 6-winged clan to survive, she could only nod in silence and agree to marry Ningfan as a concubine. She had no other choice. Under the bright night sky, Fenqi was wearing a wedding robe. She sat alone in her room, waiting for Ningfan's arrival. Her eyes were filled with loneliness and sorrow. Even though she had a good impression of Ningfan, she also had the pride of being a talented lady. She was unwilling to become Ningfan's concubine in such a way. Since she was given to Ningfan, she was destined to not be respected by him. Was that why she was sad? Devil concubine. It turns out that I am the current devil concubine of the 6-winged clan. No wonder I was born without slave marks. No wonder I have the ability to awaken the devil wings of my clansmen. The devil wings of the members of the 6-winged clan aren't born with them. They are tattooed with the devil marks of the wings. After 100 years of cultivation, the devil marks of the wings are awakened bit by bit, and they finally grow devil wings. Among the cultivators at the same level as them, the speed of the experts of the 6-winged clan is outstanding. However, my ability can directly awaken the devil marks of the wings, allowing the clansmen who have the devil marks of the wings to instantly grow devil wings. A devil concubine can create a devil clan. The Great Elder married me to young Master Zhou. If he uses my ability properly according to the jade slip that the Great Elder taught him, he can train a devil clan that is not any weaker than the 6-winged clan in the future. Everyone who possesses the devil mark of wings will be able to instantly obtain devil wings with my ability, Fenqi muttered to herself. Her mind gradually recalled Ningfan's figure. He is a heartless person. He will not love me. I am just his tool. Perhaps in this life, I will not even be comparable to a tool. Fenqi's eyes were filled with sorrow. She recalled how Ningfan carefully cared for the female corpse and how intimate he was with Yu Lingkong. However, he was the only one who treated her coldly like a passerby. Creak. When she was feeling sorry for herself, Ning Fan pushed the door open and stepped into the bridal chamber. Outside the door, the night was desolate. This concubine greets young Master Zhou. No, greets my husband. Funqi hid her sad expression and stood up gracefully to greet Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes swept across the bridal chamber and revealed a playful smile. This Xian Yi was rather interesting. Not only did he gift Funqi to him, he even prepared a wedding room for him in the mortal world. Tonight, Ning Fan had asked Yu Lingkong to rest by herself. Instead, he came to look for Funqi, of course. It was not because he wanted to flirt with women. However, Funqi did not think so. She naturally felt that Ning Fan was here to pamper her. The feeling of waiting for someone to pamper her was very unpleasant. She forced a smile and closed the door. Then, she held a cup of wine and sat together with Ning Fan. Both of them drank together, trying to build up the atmosphere so that her first night would not seem so desolate and sad. My husband, please have a drink. This is the precious wine of my six-winged clan. Drinking this wine is the best way to liven up the atmosphere. Funqi forced a smile. The wine is not bad. However, you don't seem to be very happy. Are you not willing to be my concubine? Ning Fan smiled playfully. I don't dare to. Funqi's eyes were filled with panic. Could it be that Ning Fan saw through her resentment? She must not let him see through it. If Ning Fan was dissatisfied with her, he might vent his anger on the six-winged clan. She did not dare to joke around with her relatives. Ning Fan, however, waved his hand disapprovingly. He took a sip of the wine and said with a smile, "It doesn't matter if you don't want to. You don't have to worry. I am a man of my word. Since I have promised to protect the six-winged clan, I will not go back on my words, nor will I vent my anger on the six-winged clan. If you don't want to call me husband, you can continue to call me young master. If you don't want me to touch you, I will never touch even a finger of yours. You don't have to worry about this. I am not a lustful person. To be honest, compared to your body, I am more interested in your identity as a devil concubine. According to the jade slip that fellow Taoist Xian Yi gave me, as a devil concubine of the six-winged clan, you have the special ability to awaken the devil marks of wings? Yes, I do have such an ability. I have already become young Master Zhou's concubine. As long as young master has an order, I will engrave the devil marks of wings on your subordinates and awaken their devil wings. I will certainly be able to train an army of devil wings for young master. To young master, my identity as a devil concubine is very useful. When Funqi heard Ning Fan's promise, she heaved a sigh of relief, but at the same time, she felt a little disappointed. She was very glad that Ning Fan did not vent his anger on the six-winged clan. She was very glad that Ning Fan at least respected her and would not harass or pluck her. However, Ning Fan said that he was not interested in her body. This still made her feel a little disappointed. Help me awaken my devil wings first. Let me see what you are capable of. You also know how to engrave devil marks? After Ning Fan had devoured the devil chi from the slate, the devil marks on his back had leveled up by 1/4 and 6 patterns of wings appeared. Those 6 patterns of wings were the devil marks of wings. If they are awakened, they could grow 6 devil wings, which would increase his speed. The 6 wings after awakening were different from the 6 wings in their devil form. The 6 wings in the devil form only imitated the growth of Mo Luo's devil body. They did not have real devil wings. In other words, Ning Fan only had 2 fully demon wings now. He had yet to truly cultivate the 6 wings of Mo Luo. If he could cultivate the 6 wings of Mo Luo, he would have 8 wings in addition to the 2 wings of the fully demon wings. His speed would naturally skyrocket. It was because Xian Yi claimed that Funqi could help Ning Fan increase his speed that he accepted the six-winged clan's request. Yes, I know how to engrave devil marks, but I'm not proficient in it. I only know how to engrave the devil marks of wings. Among the 4 great devil clans, the one who is most proficient in the art of engraving devil marks is Miss Feng Shuiyan. Feng Shuiyan. Ning Fan remembered that the eldest daughter of the giant devil clan was called Feng Shuiyan. It was said that her body was not very healthy. She seemed to be Su Qiuling's best friend. There are 2 steps to awaken the devil wings for my clansmen. The first step is to engrave the devil marks of wings on them. The second step is to use the burning feather technique to help my clansmen awaken their devil marks and summon their devil wings. Young master is not a member of the devil race. Without the devil marks of wings, you won't be able to summon your devil wings. Therefore, the first step is for me to engrave the devil marks of wings on your clansmen. My talent and knowledge are shallow. The strongest devil marks of wings that I can engrave are only at the general grade. Besides, the process of engraving the devil marks is extremely painful. I hope that young master can endure it for a while. Fun Chi took out a jade box which contained a 3-inch long bone needle. It was a highly graded engraving needle. She took out a jade slip which recorded all the devil marks of wings of the general grade for Ning Fan to choose from. She did not dare to make the decision on her own as to which type of wings Ning Fan would like to engrave. Miss Fun Chi's engraving technique is quite extraordinary. I once met someone who also knew how to engrave devil marks. He told me that it would take 1,000 years to master the devil marks of the soldier grade. Since Miss Fun Chi is able to engrave the devil marks of the general grade, your innate talent is really not low. You must have gone through a lot of hardships. Ning Fan recalled Stone Warrior's words. Thank you for your compliment, young master. Fun Chi's eyes gradually brightened. Being praised by Ning Fan made her depressed mood lighten a little. I already have the devil marks of wings. As for the grade, I'm not sure if it's the general grade or the martial grade. I can skip the first step of engraving the devil marks. Miss Fun Chi just needs to help me awaken these devil marks and help me grow 6 wings. Swish. As soon as Ning Fan finished speaking, he suddenly tore off his white robes, completely exposing his upper body. Fun Chi let out a cry. She did not expect Ning Fan to take off his clothes so calmly. When she saw Ning Fan's naked upper body, her enchanting eyes flashed with a hint of shyness. Even if she was a divine transformation realm old monster or a devil concubine, she was still an unmarried woman. Her eyes lingered on Ning Fan's body and she felt a little surprised. Ning Fan's strength was so strong that he could kill Lu Jiefan with his fists. However, his body was so thin and weak. When her gaze gradually shifted to Ning Fan's back, she suddenly revealed a look of astonishment. And profound earth devil marks. And no, this is. The profound earth devil marks was a type of powerful general grade devil marks. To the 4 great devil clans, this devil mark had another special meaning. Slave marks. However, the profound earth devil marks were different from the inferior slave marks of the 4 great slave clans. It was the highest grade slave mark of Great Emperor Mo Luo. It was rare for anyone to cultivate it. In the history of the 4 great slave clans, only a few experts including the ancestors of the 4 clans had managed to cultivate it. Since Ning Fan was able to cultivate this kind of devil marks, his innate talent alone had already surpassed too many devil clans. Moreover, the profound earth devil marks had another important meaning to the 4 great slave clans. Those who cultivate the profound earth devil marks would eventually become the highest grade slave of Mo Luo. However, according to the legends, if someone could resist Mo Luo's devouring power, that person would not become his slave, and could even help the 4 great slave clans break the slave marks. Fun Chi stared at Ning Fan deeply in disbelief. The person who could break the slave marks of the 6-winged clan was actually right in front of me? Since Ning Fan possessed the profound earth devil marks, he was the hope of the 4 great slave clans to break the slave marks and regain their freedom. Moreover, when Fun Chi found out that the profound earth devil marks had advanced by 1/4, she was even more astonished. She could not even close her mouth. Ning Fan had already completed 1/4 of the advancement of his profound earth devil marks. This meant that he had resisted the devouring power of Great Emperor Mo Luo, and was not enslaved. As long as Ning Fan completely completes the advancement of his profound earth devil marks, it was highly likely that he would have the ability to break the slave marks of the 4 clans. You've seen the devil marks on my back. What do you think? Ning Fan asked. I definitely won't dare to tell anyone about this secret. I'm willing to make a great oath of heart devil. Fun Chi was a little flustered. She suddenly realized that Ning Fan's devil marks were very important. Once the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan find out that Ning Fan had a chance to break the slave marks of the 4 clans, it was unknown whether the 2 clans would plot against him or not. Such an important secret had been seen by Fanqi. She hurriedly expressed to Ning Fan that she would not reveal the secret, as she was afraid that Ning Fan would be displeased. I'm asking you about the devil marks on my back. What do you think? It was just a devil mark. So what if the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan find out about it? With his current strength, he was strong enough to protect himself in the Rain world. He was not afraid of the two devil clans. Fanqi calmed herself down. She reached out her soft palm and gently stroked Ning Fan's back, feeling the veins of the devil marks. The profound earth devil marks are about to advance. 1/4 of them have already been completed. As for the direction of advancement, I can't see through it. I can't be sure what kind of pattern will appear when the devil marks complete the remaining 3/4 of advancement. The pattern of these 6 wings is somewhat similar to the wings of my 6-winged clan. However, its grade is much higher. Perhaps, this is a type of powerful devil mark that has never been recorded before. Once it advances to the next level, it will certainly be extraordinary. Is that so? Can you help me awaken my devil wings with the help of the 6 devil marks of wings? I can definitely do it. Fanqi was very confident in her ability to awaken her devil wings. Ning Fan's devil marks were not weak. Not only did Fanqi want to awaken his devil wings, but she also wanted to make the grade of his devil wings extraordinary. Only then could she show off her abilities. Most of the demon and devil cultivators in the 7 realms of truth cultivation had wings. As for the grade of the wings, they could be divided into 3 different grades: mortal wings, spirit wings, and void wings. The grade of the wings was not directly related to their speed. It symbolized the cultivation aptitude of the wings. If the vein opening realm, harmonious spirit realm, and gold core realm cultivators had wings, most of them were mortal wings. The wings of the nascent soul realm and divine transformation realm were mostly spirit wings. The wings of the void refinement realm and void fragmentation realm were mostly void wings. Ning Fan's devil marks were quite extraordinary. The devil wings he awakened would definitely not be inferior to the spirit wings. In order to show off her abilities, Fanqi had to at least awaken the void wings for Ning Fan. She gently bit the tip of her tongue and sacrificed a drop of blood essence. Then she chanted an ancient and mysterious incantation. A trace of strange power spread out from her body like a whisper or a call. It actually resonated with the pattern of the 6 wings on Ning Fan's devil marks. She formed a hand seal and summoned 6 fiery red wings. The wings were densely covered with fiery red feathers. Among the countless fiery red feathers, there were more than 100 of them. Their color was the deepest red, and they possessed mysterious abilities. Fanqi endured the slight pain and plucked 6 of the scarlet feathers from her wings. Immediately, a feeling of weakness spread throughout her body. These scarlet feathers were her natal fire feathers. They were connected to her primordial spirit. Now that she had just reconstructed her physical body, her body was still very weak. If she plucked off her natal fire feathers rashly, her primordial spirit would be in pain, and it would affect her old injuries. Fanqi, oh Fanqi, since when have you become such a coward? I've just plucked off 6 natal fire feathers and you can't even bear it? If you can't satisfy young Master Zhou today, the 6-winged clan might perish because of you. Fanqi, you have to grit your teeth and endure it. She muttered to herself and hid the slight paleness on her face. Then, she gritted her teeth and raised her hand. The 6 feathers turned into 6 traces of scarlet devil flames that danced on her palm. With a flick of her finger, the 6 traces of devil flames shot into Ning Fan's devil marks. All of a sudden, the lines of each of the 6 devil marks on the wings were burning with devil flames. Ning Fan felt as if his back was burning. Then 6 enormous illusory devil wings grew on his back. The devil wings were burning with devil flames. As the devil flames burned, the wings gradually turned from illusory to solid. Flesh and blood gradually grew on them. It was a kind of experience of being reborn from the ashes. As the flames burned, traces of flesh and blood were growing from the flames. There was an incomparably profound principle behind it. No wonder you're called Fanqi. I understand now. Burning the wings in exchange for a new life. It's a pretty good name. Feeling the 6 wings gradually becoming solid, Ning Fan nodded his head in satisfaction. These 6 wings were still illusory, but they had already reached the level of void wings. Fanqi's abilities were indeed extraordinary. She had an outstanding ability to summon wings. With her around, she might really be able to train an army of devil wings for Ningfan in the future. Thank you for your compliment, young master. Fine beads of sweat appeared on Fanqi's forehead. She activated her devil flames to help Ningfan burn his devil wings. Seeing that his devil wings had already reached the level of void wings, he revealed a relieved smile. However, as the devil flames burned, Ningfan's devil wings became more solid while the devil flames became weaker and weaker. In the end, the flames were extinguished. The devil wings actually did not succeed in awakening in one go. Only 1/10 of them had become solid. As for the remaining 9/10, they were still in an illusory state. Fanqi was greatly surprised. When she awakened the wings of ordinary members of the devil race, she usually only needed to break off one of her natal fire plumes, and it would produce enough devil flames to help the members of her race cultivate their devil wings. The stronger the devil wings were, the more devil flames it would consume. However, even if Ningfan was a member of the 6-winged clan who possessed the void wings, Fanqi only needed to use 5 natal fire plumes at most to help him condense the void wings. She had already overestimated Ningfan's devil wings and used 6 fire plumes on him. However, she did not expect that the devil flames produced by the 6 fire plumes were only enough to make the devil wings become solid by 1/10. Fanqi was a little dumbfounded. Just how powerful were these devil wings that they were so difficult to condense? They were even more powerful than the void wings. Could it be that she had to use 60 fire plumes to help Ningfan completely condense his devil wings? After losing one's natal fire plumes, they could regrow after a certain period of time through cultivation. That way, they could continuously awaken the devil wings of a cultivator. However, if she plucked 60 fire plumes in one go, it would certainly be difficult for her to cultivate them back. Moreover, with Fanqi's current weak body, plucking 6 fire plumes would already weaken her primordial spirit. If she plucked 60 fire plumes in one go, she might even suffer severe injuries. Fanqi's eyes were filled with sadness. However, a moment later, she made up her mind. At this moment, the most important matter was more important. In order to help Ningfan condense his devil wings and satisfy him, she naturally could not take care of her own body. She gritted her teeth and wanted to pluck out her fire plumes again. However, Ningfan held her wrist and stopped her. You have already helped me summon my devil wings. Next, just leave the task of burning the devil flames and condensing the devil wings to me. Take this divine injury pill. Ningfan did not wait for Fanqi's reply and directly stuffed a pill into her cherry lips. Fanqi's beautiful face was stunned. Was he concerned about her? Was he afraid that she would get hurt? When her soft lips were touched by Ningfan's finger, her face turned slightly red. She stopped talking and carefully refined the medicinal power of the pill. She did not ask much and Ningfan did not answer her as well. All of a sudden, Ningfan rose to his feet. The 6 illusory devil wings on his back burned with extremely terrifying devil flames. That devil flame was the fusion of countless heavenly frost and earthly flames. The grade of that devil flame was comparable to a mid-grade immortal void realm spiritual flame. That devil flame gave Fanqi a feeling of suffocation. She had never seen such a powerful devil flame in her entire life. Under this powerful devil flame, Ningfan's 6 wings were being reborn at an astonishing speed. Under the nourishment of the devil flame, the aura force of the void wings actually increased rapidly. At a certain moment, Ningfan suddenly summoned his Fuli demon wings. The 8 wings were burning in the devil flame at the same time. Gradually, the devil flame turned pitch black. These are demon wings. These demon wings are actually also at the void wings realm. Fanqi had done a lot of research on wings. She could tell that Ningfan had both demon wings and devil wings at the same time with just a glance. She could not understand why the demon wings and devil wings could exist in Ningfan's body at the same time when they were 2 completely different types of wings. She could not understand why Ningfan actually had a pair of void wings in the first place. She could not understand all of this. However, she could feel the aura force from Ningfan's wings getting stronger and stronger. The Fuli demon wings that were at the void wings realm, and the 6 wings devil wings that were at the Void Wings realm actually showed signs of merging. The aura force of the wings actually began to break through the limit of the Void Wings realm. 8 demon wings. Condense for me. A strong aura force suddenly spread out from Ningfan's body and engulfed the entire 6-winged clan. At this moment, the 8 demon wings that were burning with black devil flames on Ningfan's back gave off a terrifying aura force. At this moment, all the members of the 6-winged clan who had wings felt that their devil wings were trembling in fear. It was as if all the devil wings in the world were not as powerful as Ningfan's. It was a kind of aura force that came from the wings. It was much stronger than all the spirit wings and void wings in the 7 realms of cultivation. The aura force of this kind of wings had far surpassed the void wings. It was impossible for it to appear on cultivators of the 7 realms of cultivation. Normally, it would only appear on the wings of heavenly demons and heavenly devils. This aura force had already reached a higher grade than the void wings. Xian Yi's expression changed greatly. He looked at the direction of Ningfan's new house in disbelief. There's no mistake. The aura force of the wings that caused Xian Yi's mind to be in a mess was definitely emitted by Ningfan. Could it be that Ningfan did not spend the night with Fanqi tonight, but asked her to awaken his devil wings for him? Heavenly demon, heavenly devil wings. I can't be wrong. The devil wings that fellow Taoist Zhou condensed have actually reached this level. If fellow Taoist Zhou concentrates on cultivating these devil wings and gradually increases their speed, the speed of these devil wings will definitely be comparable to that of heavenly demons and heavenly devils one day. These are treasured wings with a boundless future. Chapter 446. After a long time, the aura force of Ningfan's wings gradually faded. After awakening the devil wings at the level of the void wings and merging them with the demon wings, they merged into the heavenly demon wings and the heavenly devil wings, which gave Ningfan a huge boost in his speed. Ningfan remained silent for a while. Then he suddenly stopped Fanqi and flapped his 8 black fiery wings. Both of them disappeared from the 6-winged clan in an instant and reappeared 200,000 li away in the sea region. 200,000 li in one move. Such speed was already comparable to that of a void inquiry stage-old monster. So fast. Young master, you're so fast. Really fast. Fanqi was both shocked and delighted. Her speech was somewhat incoherent. That joy was because she saw that the devil wings that she had awakened could actually reach such a terrifying speed. Ningfan was speechless. Young master is so fast was not a compliment to a man. He remained silent for a while. He was very satisfied with the 8 black burning wings that were fused with the demon wings and devil wings. Thank you. What? Fanqi snuggled in Ningfan's arms. She could not believe her ears. She was just helping Ningfan awaken his devil wings, but she actually made him thank her. From now on, you will be my devil concubine. I'm very satisfied with your ability to awaken my devil wings. Devil concubine. Fanqi lowered her head. Her eyes were filled with hesitation. No one knew what she was thinking. The 8 black wings were flowing with black flames. They looked strange and magnificent. Ningfan flapped his 8 black burning wings and turned into a ray of black flames. In the blink of an eye, he returned to the 6-winged clan. When he showed the wings to Yulinkong, she was naturally very surprised. It was her first time seeing a cultivator cultivate a pair of wings that were at the heavenly demon or heavenly devil realm. 3 days later, Ningfan and Xian Yi came to an agreement on many matters regarding the 6-winged clan. They decided to retain the autonomy of the 6-winged clan. Ningfan would only be the leader of the 6-winged clan in name. However, he could use the spiritual herbs and immortal jade of the 6-winged clan whenever he wanted. Since the matter regarding the 6-winged clan was settled, Ningfan no longer had the intention to stay. He brought Yulinkong and Fanqi along and flew towards the giant devil clan. Fanqi was a devil concubine, but she was already Ningfan's devil concubine. Naturally, she no longer belonged to the 6-winged clan. He was not in a hurry. He did not need to waste immortal jade to activate the moon portals. Hence, he was able to adapt to his increased speed. Before he left, Xian Yi mysteriously handed Ningfan a jade slip. What was recorded in it was actually the devil concubines of the other 3 devil clans. To the 4 great demon clans, the birth of a demon concubine was the hope of the clan's resurgence. Xianyi had also sent out countless spies to gather information about the other 3 clans. According to the information he received, the Giant Devil clan did not have a devil concubine in this generation. As for the Mist Horn clan and the Ghost Eye clan, there were female cultivators who were suspected to be devil concubines. There were a few candidates who were suspected to be devil concubines. If Ningfan needs them, he could investigate them himself. The contents of the jade slip made Ningfan ponder deeply. Xianyi gave Fenqi to Ningfan. Could it be that he was expecting Ningfan to snatch the devil concubines of the other 2 clans? Since Fenqi was a 6-winged devil concubine who could awaken her wings, it was highly likely that the other devil concubines of the other 2 clans also had a mystical power that was compatible with the bloodline of their clans. Thus, they could help Ningfan improve his strength. The only thing that puzzled him was the Giant Demon clan. The Giant Demon clan didn't have a demon concubine, so when the 3 clans appeared, only the Giant Demon clan's phenomenon appeared for a moment before disappearing. The Giant Demon clan doesn't have a devil statue slate? They don't have their own devil concubine either. Is it because they had pledged allegiance to the Thunder Sovereign, or the Giant Demon clan is different from the other 3 clans? Ningfan vaguely felt that the so-called Giant Demon clan was not as simple as he imagined. There is a rumor in the Endless Sea that the Void Refinement Realm ancestor of the Giant Demon clan died in battle. Then, the clan declined and became the weakest among the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean. However, is it really like this? Ningfan accelerated his speed to its maximum. After flying for more than a month, he had traveled across 2 billion li. The 8 black burning wings inherited the advantage of the Fuli demon wings. It had spirit, and it did not consume any magic power to fly. Yu Lingkong was surprised by Ningfan's speed while Fenqi was surprised by his endurance. Young Master Zhou, this is unbelievable. You have been flying continuously for a month, and you actually did not consume any magic power at all. You really can last for a long time. I have a whole new level of respect for you. She was almost obsessed with devil wings. The miraculousness of Ningfan's devil wings was enough for her to study for the rest of her life. You also know about Little Cucumber's endurance? The endurance that Yu Lingkong mentioned was obviously different from Fenqi's. After all, Fenqi was still a virgin. Ningfan was not interested in such a meaningless topic. In the seawater that was as dark as ink, Ningfan was like an arrow that was shot from a bow. He carried the 2 ladies and dashed across the waves. In 1 month's time, his control over the speed of the 8 black burning wings had already reached a very precise level. They were getting closer and closer to the Giant Devil clan. They had already arrived at the Devil Ice Sea domain. The place where the sea and the sky met was filled with wind and snow. Occasionally, there would be icebergs floating in the sea. There were also many ferocious beasts hiding in the sea. There was even no lack of wild beasts. However, none of the ferocious beasts dared to block Ningfan's path. The continuous wind and snow seemed to have a great effect on spirit sense. It was extremely easy to get lost while flying in the boundless sea of snow. In the wind and snow, there would be cultivators coming and going from time to time. Because of the heavy wind and snow, they could not see Ningfan and his group's faces clearly. However, as soon as they saw the terrifying speed of Ningfan's 8 black burning wings, each of the Gold Core Realm and Nascent Soul Realm experts were greatly shocked. None of them dared to provoke Ningfan. Even some Divine Transformation Realm old monsters who had been living in seclusion were greatly frightened when they saw Ningfan's speed. They only thought that Ningfan was a Void Refinement Realm senior. This person must be a Void Refinement Realm senior, who is famous in the Rain world. Unfortunately, we are separated by the heavy wind and snow. I can't catch a glimpse of Senior's elegant demeanor. What a pity. Many experts let out a long sigh after passing by Ningfan. Yu Lingkong had once traveled across the Endless Sea. She was extremely familiar with the sea routes. With her guidance, Ningfan would certainly not get lost. In the Devil Ice Sea domain, there were a few regions where sea beasts gathered. To ordinary cultivators, it was a dangerous place and they would need to take a detour to get around them. However, Ningfan and his group were extremely strong. There was no need for them to avoid the ferocious beasts. Thus, they directly moved forward in a straight line. Amidst the wind and snow, the sounds of fighting could be heard from afar. Ningfan retracted his light and scanned the area with his spirit sense. This sea domain was the habitat of a certain kind of whale dragons. The sounds of fighting that could be heard through the heavy wind and snow were mixed with the screams of cultivators and the roars of whale dragons. Without a doubt, some cultivators had been attacked by a group of whale dragons. In this group of whale dragons, the ones with the highest cultivation base were just 2 wild beasts. As for the group of cultivators who were besieged, the highest cultivation base was only at the peak nascent soul realm. It seemed like they were attacked by the whale dragons when they were passing by the sea domain. This kind of battle could be seen everywhere in the cultivation world. With Ningfan's cold and detached personality, he had never been bothered to get involved in such matters. However, since he had retracted his light, he decided to intervene this time. It was because that group of cultivators had the emblem of the Giant Devil clan on their robes. Little Cucumber, they are members of the Giant Devil clan. Do you want to help them? Yu Lingkong asked. With my friendship with the Giant Devil clan, it's just a small effort. I can lend them a hand. The two of you wait here for a while. I will be back soon. Qi Ningfan turned into a ray of light and disappeared without a trace. The surface of the Black Sea in the distance was densely covered with broken ice. On top of the broken ice, more than 100 cultivators were engaged in a fierce battle with the group of whale dragons. Among the 100 cultivators, there were 70 Gold Core Realm cultivators and 30 Nascent Soul Realm cultivators. The leader of the group was a burly man with a cultivation base at the peak Nascent Soul Realm. That burly man's cultivation base was at the peak of the Nascent Soul Realm, but there was a jade-colored astral spirit floating around his body. It was obvious that he was a cultivator at the first level of the Jade Life Realm, and he could fight against a wild beast with just his physical body. Carrying a human-sized ginseng spirit herb on his shoulder, he was fighting among the whale dragons single-handedly. His whole body was bathed in blood. Only 50 whale dragons were dispatched from the whale dragon group. Among the 50 whale dragons, apart from 2 early-stage wild beasts, the rest were all nascent soul beasts. Nascent soul-level whale dragons were thousands of feet long, far larger than other beasts of the same level. The desolate beast whale dragons were tens of thousands of feet long. Their snow-white bodies were like moving icebergs. Although the burly man at the peak of the nascent soul realm was at the Jade Life Realm, the skin and flesh of a whale dragon were too thick. Just a single whale dragon at the peak of the nascent soul realm could withstand an attack from a divine transformation realm cultivator. As for the desolate beast-level whale dragon, its physical defense was even more terrifying. The peak Yuanfeng cultivator unleashed his low-grade divine transformation body art again and again, but he couldn't break through the defense of the wild beast whale dragon. Motherfucker! This 30,000-year-old ice ginseng is for eldest Mrs. treatment. You bastards, how dare you steal eldest Mrs. medicine? I'll fight you to the death. Boom, boom, boom. The burly cultivator ignited his nascent soul, and his eyes were filled with madness. His fists were surrounded by a jade color, and the fist radiance was comparable to the desperate attack of an early-stage divine transformation realm cultivator. However, even such a powerful attack couldn't leave any wounds on the bodies of the 2 wild beasts. Seeing the cultivators who came with him dying in the mouth of the whale dragons one after another, the burly cultivator's eyes turned red. These were his brothers who risked their lives to find the medicine for eldest Mississippi. Before they could return to the clan to claim the credit, they were targeted by this group of whale dragons. How hateful. Brothers, let's fight with this group of whale dragons and fight our way out. Whoever survives in the end will be responsible for bringing the 30,000-year-old ice ginseng back to the clan. Kill. One by one, the cultivators of the giant demon clan ignited their nascent souls and shattered their gold cores. It was obvious that they were going to fight to the death with the whale dragons. Many cultivators transformed into their giant bodies, and each of them was thousands of feet tall. However, such a giant body was not worth mentioning in front of the whale dragons. They were still as small as ants. Ah! Blood-curdling screams could be heard as the cultivators of the giant demon clan were swallowed alive by the whale dragons. Even the burly cultivator who was at the peak of the nascent soul realm was hit by two of the wild beast whale dragons. It was as if he had been hit by an iceberg that was tens of thousands of feet tall. He vomited blood and was severely injured. His eyes were filled with despair. Damn it. It seems like my life is going to end here today. Who is it? Just as the burly cultivator was about to give up all hope, a figure in snow-white clothes suddenly appeared in the wind and snow. There was no sign at all. No one knew how he came to this place. The speed of that young man was far beyond the comprehension of these nascent soul realm and gold core realm cultivators. There was no trace of emotion in the eyes of that young man. When he looked at the whale dragons and the cultivators of the giant demon clan, it was as if he was looking at the wind and snow. It was as if he was looking at the scenery. Only the burly cultivator at the peak of the nascent soul realm was the most knowledgeable. When he saw the traces of smoke that the young man used to move, his eyes immediately lit up with joy. Divine Transformation Realm Cultivator. This friend must be a Divine Transformation Realm Cultivator. I, Zhao Shuai, have a favor to ask of you. Bring this 30,000-year-old ice ginseng back to the giant demon clan. I promise you that if you bring this ice ginseng back, not only will the giant demon clan reward you 10 times the price of the ice ginseng, they will also treat you as a distinguished guest. The man whose name was Zhao Shuai was already trying to find a doctor in a desperate situation. He knew that he would not be able to escape from the whale dragon's encirclement. As for this white-robed young man who suddenly appeared, it was impossible for him to help a group of strangers. Perhaps he would even help the whale dragons to kill them and seize their treasures. Zhao Shuai could only hope that this young man would be willing to help him bring the ice ginseng back to the giant demon clan. This ice ginseng was of great significance to the giant demon clan. If he brings it back, the reward would be at least 10 times the price of the ice ginseng. Moreover, he would be able to gain the favor of the giant demon clan. He reckoned that this unfamiliar white-robed young man would not reject such a good deal. Zhao Shuai could not see the young man's face clearly because of the wind and snow. Otherwise, he would certainly recognize the young man's identity. It was Ningfan who had shaken the entire endless sea. Ningfan indifferently glanced at Zhao Shuai without saying anything. At the next moment, his sword sense swept across the area. A drop of thick ink spread on the glacier. In just an instant, all 50 whale dragons were minced into pieces by his sword sense regardless of their cultivation bases. Their blood dyed the glacier red. A strong baleful qi spread out from Ningfan's body. Under this baleful qi, each of the cultivators of the giant demon clan felt as if their gold cores and nascent souls were about to shatter. They could not withstand the aura force of Ningfan's gaze at all. All the members of the giant demon clan who were lucky enough to survive were stunned. Zhao Shuai, in particular, felt as if his heart was about to leap out of his throat when he saw the wild beast whale's corpse that had been smashed into countless pieces. He killed all the whale dragons instantly with a single strike, including the 2 wild beasts. None of them could resist him at all. What kind of strength is this? Is there really an expert at this level in the endless sea? Who is this person? Zhao Shuai tried his best to recognize Ningfan's appearance through the heavy wind and snow. When he vaguely saw Ningfan's face, even a tough man like Zhao Shuai was nearly paralyzed with fear. It's him. He is Zhou Ming, the revered Ming who killed a Void Refinement Realm expert with a single punch. Killing a Void Refinement Realm expert with a single punch. In the endless sea where Divine Transformation Realm experts reigned supreme, and the Reign Immortal world where Void Refinement Realm experts were rare, killing a Void Refinement Realm expert with a single punch was a terrifying concept. Chapter 447. With Ningfan's current strength, he could directly activate his sword sense to kill a nascent soul beast and a wild beast without any effort at all. After the glacier was dyed with blood, Ningfan flicked his sleeve in a practiced manner. A strong gust of wind blew in the surroundings and collected the demon cores of the 50 whale dragons one by one. As a professional killer, of course he had to collect the demon cores. Zhao Shuai and the other cultivators of the giant demon clan wore shocked expressions and did not even dare to breathe loudly. Gradually, everyone recognized Ningfan's appearance. He was a person who could command the winds and clouds in the endless sea. Who would not know about him? In white, Ning Fan was conferred as a revered elder of the Great Heaven Palace by the Rain Palace. Rumor has it that he was even favored by the white-robed sword god, Yin Tianjue. Many cultivators of the righteous path were afraid of his identity. In recent months, the Zhou clan of the Internal Sea had spread a rumor that Ning Fan was a friend of the Zhou clan. His words made countless devil cultivators in the Endless Sea fear Ning Fan deeply. None of them dared to provoke him. Putting aside the background of the Rain Palace and the Zhou clan, Ning Fan's personal strength had also skyrocketed. From the time he annihilated a divine transformation realm being in the external Endless Sea to the day, where he became one of the 8 venerated beings of the Internal Sea step by step, to the recent rumors of him fighting a 6-winged realm expert, and killing a void refinement realm expert with a single punch, his devil name made countless old monsters tremble in fear. Since the 6-winged clan had successfully attached themselves to Ning Fan, they naturally wanted to exaggerate Ning Fan's reputation in order to have a better deterrent effect. Under Xian Yi's unbridled exaggeration, Ning Fan's battle achievements in the 6-winged clan were spread far and wide. Moreover, they were exaggerated to a certain extent. It was rumored that the 6-winged clan of the 4 clans of the Hidden Sea was besieged by 4 great forces. Among them were the Ghost Eye clan, the Mist Horn clan, and other top forces of the Devil race, the Demon Sealing sect, which was one of the 8 venerable forces of the Internal Endless Sea, and the Lan Ling sect, a top force of the Righteous Path. Rumor has it that the 4 clans had sent out 2 Void Refinement Realm experts and 2 Illusory Void Refinement Realm experts to attack the 6-winged clan. However, Ning Fan single-handedly turned the tide and defeated the 4 forces alone, saving the 6-winged clan, and becoming the leader of the 6-winged clan. According to rumors, the lord of the Demon Sealing sect, Lu Jiefan, was a dignified illusory Void Realm old monster, who was just a step away from attaining the Void Refinement realm. However, he actually did not have the strength to fight back in front of Ning Fan. He risked his life to merge with his spiritual puppet, and turned into a Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppet. However, he was killed by Ning Fan's fists. Rumor has it that Ning Fan's Hongyan Yulingkong was already an early Void Refinement realm expert. Moreover, she had unrivaled strength among Void Glimpse stage experts. Rumor has it that Ning Fan possessed 3 Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppets. After obtaining Lu Jiefan's spiritual puppet, he already had 4 Void Glimpse stage spiritual puppets. The combat power of these 4 spiritual puppets could sweep across the entire Internal Sea. Earth-shaking rumors spread out in the entire Endless Sea. In the Endless Sea, it was impossible for even the old monsters who lived in seclusion to not recognize Ning Fan. With Ning Fan's current strength, he could kill a Void Glimpse stage old monster. This strength was enough for him to run amok in the Rain world. In addition to his spiritual puppets and beauties, Ning Fan's reputation alone was equivalent to the total reputation of 6 Void Glimpse stage experts. It had even overshadowed some of the peak forces in the Rain world, which were guarded by Void Refinement realm experts. Putting aside the fact that the Zhou clan and the Ghost Eye clan had an unfathomable foundation, the Mist Horn clan only had 3 Void Refinement realm experts in their clan. Even a colossal being like the Mist Horn clan would not dare to provoke Ning Fan easily. Moreover, after Ning Fan killed Lu Jiefan, many devil cultivators in the Internal Sea beat him when he was down in order to curry favor with him. They annihilated the declining Demon Sealing sect in one fell swoop, leaving no one alive. Out of the 8 venerated beings in the Internal Sea, only 7 of them were left. The Demon Sealing sect was removed from the list forever. Zhao Shuai and the other cultivators of the giant devil clan would never have thought that they would actually have the chance to see Ning Fan's face with their own eyes in this lifetime. However, in their eyes, this fate was not a fate but an ill-fated fate. Even though Ning Fan's reputation was great, it was all because he killed people. He also had a bad reputation of being a playboy, who killed people for their treasures. The only thing he did not have was a good reputation. Ning Fan was indeed powerful. However, he was an out-and-out devil lord. What good things could happen to them if they encountered a devil lord like him? Zhao Shuai did not believe that a great devil lord like Ning Fan would be kind enough to save a group of strangers like them. His mind raced, trying to guess the reason why Ning Fan saved them. He could only think of 3 possibilities. The first possibility was that Ning Fan had his eyes on the 30,000 years old ice ginseng, and he came here to kill them for their treasures. After killing the whale dragon, he would also kill Zhao Shuai and the others to take away the ice ginseng. He did not have the intention to save them at all. The second possibility was that Ning Fan had annihilated the demon sealing sect and the giant devil clan. Zhao Shuai and the others were all cultivators of the giant devil clan. Ning Fan most likely wanted to search their souls and memories after killing them to obtain some information about the giant devil clan. The third possibility was that Ning Fan was just bored and wanted to kill people for fun. Killing people for fun was naturally the more he killed, the better. After killing the whale dragon, he would certainly not let Zhao Shuai and the others go. In a place like the Endless Sea, none of the old monsters who could cultivate to the Gold Core realm or Nascent Soul realm were fools. Each of the cultivators of the giant devil clan exchanged glances with each other. All of them thought of the three possibilities and could not help but break out in cold sweat. No matter which possibility it was, the result would still be death. The joy of surviving a calamity that had just risen in their hearts immediately vanished, and they fell into despair once again. None of them could imagine that Ning Fan was really just trying to save them, and did not have any intention to kill them. Well, it was no wonder that they misunderstood Ning Fan. Who would have thought that a devil lord who was notorious for killing people would save a group of strangers? Who's the leader? Ning Fan's indifferent eyes coldly scanned across the crowd. Just a single glance seemed to be able to see through everyone's mind. We are the medicine-seeking guards of the giant devil clan. I'm Zhao Shuai, the leader of this group. Greetings to venerated Ming. Thank you for saving our lives. When Zhao Shuai heard that Ning Fan was actually asking him a question instead of killing him immediately, he was stunned for a moment. Then he immediately bowed respectfully. He realized that Ning Fan did not seem to have the intention to kill them. Even though he did not understand why Ning Fan would be so kind to them, he felt extremely fortunate. He tried his best to suppress his fear towards Ning Fan, and answered Ning Fan's questions truthfully without daring to be negligent. The cultivators of the giant devil clan at the side also noticed the hint of gentleness in Ning Fan's tone. There was no killing intent in his tone. Thus, they felt relieved and greeted him respectfully. Greetings to venerated Ming. You guys know me? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. He had been running around and busying himself. He did not expect that his name in the Internal Sea had already become so well known. A random group of unfamiliar cultivators could actually recognize him. Venerated Ming's great name has shaken the entire universe. Who doesn't know you in the Internal Sea? Even though we are ignorant and inexperienced, how could we not know about you? Zhao Shuai said respectfully. Ning Fan remained silent for a while. Then his gaze fell on a human-sized ice ginseng on Zhao Shuai's shoulder. Immediately, Zhao Shuai's heart thumped and he cursed inwardly. Could it be that Ning Fan has taken a fancy to the ice ginseng, and wants to snatch it from him? Previously, you said that this ice ginseng is the item to treat the young mistress of the giant devil clan, right? Are you talking about Miss Feng Xiuyan? Ning Fan asked indifferently. Yes. Zhao Shuai's face was filled with bitterness. If Ning Fan wants to snatch the treasure, he certainly would not be able to stop him. What illness does she have? Venerated Ming, the illness that the young mistress has is extremely strange. She often shows symptoms of fever. No one knows exactly what illness it is. However, she needs something extremely cold to protect her body. This ice ginseng is also one of the main ingredients needed to treat the young mistress' illness. This time, venerated giant of my clan will use the Void Inquiry Pill to organize a pill ceremony with the Pill Island and invite Pill Refinement Grandmasters to participate in the pill ceremony. The top 3 pill refinement masters in the pill ceremony will be rewarded with a Void Inquiry Pill if they can complete venerated giant's request and concoct a life-saving pill for the young mistress. This ice ginseng is a necessary ingredient for that life-saving pill. If I don't have this ice ginseng, venerated giant will certainly not spare me. I hope that venerated Ming will be magnanimous and not take this medicine. Zhao Shuai's tone was filled with pleading. He had heard that Ning Fan was cold and heartless. However, after witnessing it with his own eyes, he realized that even though Ning Fan's personality was cold, He did not look like a bloodthirsty person. Thus, he still pleaded with Ning Fan, hoping that Ning Fan would not snatch the ice ginseng. Zhao Shuai naturally did not know that Ning Fan did not have the intention to snatch the treasure from him at all. Feng Shuiyan was Su Qiuling's best friend. This ice ginseng was meant to save her life. How could Ning Fan be a beast and snatch it from her? What Ning Fan was concerned about was the pill ceremony, and the void inquiry pill, that Zhao Shuai mentioned. In order to cure Feng Shuiyan's illness, venerated giant of the giant devil clan joined forces with the Pill Island to organize the pill ceremony, and invited pill refinement masters to participate in the pill refinement competition. They even offered a precious void inquiry pill as a reward. The void inquiry pill was a mid-grade 6th revolution pill. A single void inquiry pill could allow void glimpse stage old monsters whose magic power had reached a bottleneck to improve their void comprehension. If their void comprehension breaks through the bottleneck of the void inquiry stage, they would be able to advance to the mid-void refinement realm in one go. Even for cultivators who had already broken through to the void inquiry stage, consuming a void inquiry pill could also improve their void comprehension to a certain extent. He did not expect that venerated giant would actually use such a precious pill as a reward to cure his daughter's illness. It was really generous. Recalling what he had seen along the way, Ning Fan vaguely remembered that he had met a few pill refinement masters along the way. All of them were rushing towards the direction of the giant devil clan. The medicinal qi on their bodies was not weak. There were 3rd revolution pill refinement masters, and even 4th revolution pill refinement masters. Presumably, all of them were here to participate in the pill ceremony. Void inquiry pill. Yuer's magic power has already reached the limit of the void glimpse stage. She just needs to break through the bottleneck of the void inquiry stage in order to break through to the mid-void refinement realm and become a void inquiry stage cultivator. If I can get my hands on this pill, I can give it to you, so that she can break through to the void inquiry stage in one go. Feng Shuiyan is Qiuling's sister. For the sake of Qiuling, I have to participate in the pill ceremony this time and save Feng Shuiyan's life. Moreover, if I can save Feng Shuiyan's life, I will be rewarded with a void inquiry pill. Of course, I can't miss this grand ceremony. However, the giant devil clan that has fallen from grace actually dares to take out a void inquiry pill as a reward. They sure have guts. A void inquiry pill is a mid-grade 6th revolution pill. In the Rain world, there are only 2 or 3 people who can concoct a pill of this level. Most of the void inquiry pills that are circulating in the world today were obtained from ancient ruins. A single void inquiry pill is enough to make many old monsters who are stuck at the void glimpse stage go crazy. The giant devil clan has such a high-grade pill, and they even dared to openly use it as a reward. Aren't they afraid that a void refinement realm old monster will invade the giant devil clan and snatch it from them? They dare to openly possess a mid-grade 6th revolution pill, but they are not afraid that others will snatch it from them. This giant devil clan really doesn't seem to be as simple as I thought. Even though Ning Fan had yet to arrive at the giant devil clan, he began to feel a little wary of them. It was a kind of sharp intuition. Compared to the Ghost Eye clan and the Misthorn clan who acted in an arrogant and high-profile manner, the giant devil clan, which was also one of the 4 clans of the Hidden Ocean, was just too low-key. Don't worry. I have a friendly relationship with the giant devil clan. I won't snatch your ice ginseng. However, you need to imprint a copy of the information regarding the pill ceremony and hand it to me. After all, I am also a pill refinement master. I am quite interested in this pill ceremony. Yes. I will imprint a jade slip and hand it over to Senior right now. As soon as Zhao Shuai heard that Ning Fan was neither going to kill him nor snatch his medicine, he felt relieved. He immediately took out a jade slip with a smile and imprinted all the information he knew onto it before handing it to Ning Fan. Zhao Shuai did not believe that the great devil Ning was a pill refinement master. After all, the art of pill refinement was extremely difficult to learn. It required one to calm down and explore it. In Zhao Shuai's impression, a devil lord who killed people without batting an eyelid would certainly be a person with an impatient mind. How could it be possible for him to calm down and learn the art of pill refinement? He did not care whether Ning Fan's words were true or false. As long as Ning Fan did not kill him or snatch his medicine, he could easily imprint countless copies of some insignificant information. It was not worth mentioning at all. After he received the jade slip, his eyes suddenly narrowed before he could read it with his spirit sense. He saw a few sneers coming from the clouds in the west. Each of them carried an inexplicable sarcasm. Oh, isn't this fellow Taoist the newly promoted revered elder of the Great Heaven Palace? Venerated Ming? Is he also here to participate in the pill ceremony? Tisk tsk. I didn't expect that the white-robed sword god's disciple would have a pill refinement master instead of a sword cultivator. How interesting. I really admire you. I wonder what revolution his pill refinement mastery is at. Is it the second revolution or the third revolution? It's not that we look down on venerated Ming. It's just that the great Tao of pill refinement emphasizes one's temperament the most. A murderous devil lord with an impatient mind won't be able to go far in the Tao of pill refinement. Ning Fan's eyes flickered slightly. All of a sudden, he reached out with his 5 fingers and tore at the clouds, forming a flaming claw made of black flames as if it was going to tear heaven and earth apart. The force of the claw was comparable to a void glimpse stage attack. It immediately tore layers of the hollow space apart, causing wind and snow to swirl in the opposite direction, and sea waves to rise to the sky within 100,000 li. As the hollow space shattered, 5 old men who were dressed like pill refinement masters appeared in a disheveled manner. Each of them was coughing out blood nonstop, and their faces were filled with shock. All of them were outstanding pill refinement masters of the Scarlet Heaven Palace. Each of them had pill refinement mastery of the 4th revolution and above. One of them even had pill refinement mastery that was close to the 5th revolution. All of them were the subordinates of the 7th prince of the Rain Palace, Yin Jinghong. Yin Jinghong and Yin Tianjue had always been on bad terms. Naturally, his subordinates would not be polite to Ning Fan either. Not only did Ning Fan have a close relationship with Yin Tianjue, but he had also killed Revered Yin. Revered Yin was a member of the Scarlet Heaven Palace. There were countless people in the Scarlet Heaven Palace who wanted to find trouble with Ning Fan. Of course, these people definitely did not want to take revenge for Revered Yin. They just did not want to be bullied by the members of the Great Heaven Palace. Even though the 5 of them were pill refinement masters with extraordinary pill refinement mastery, their cultivation bases were just average. All of them were just at the mid to late divine transformation realm. Ning Fan's casual attack was comparable to the attack of a void glimpse stage expert. How could the 5 of them withstand it? The 5 old men trembled in fear. When they passed by this place, they coincidentally bumped into Ning Fan, who was rescuing someone. After recognizing Ning Fan's identity as a revered elder of the Great Heaven Palace, they wanted to mock him. After all, he was a profound sect of the righteous path. They did not advocate fighting and killing each other. Instead, they advocated scheming against each other. They were members of the Scarlet Heaven Palace. They were not on good terms with the Great Heaven Palace. Therefore, it was naturally a great opportunity for them to discuss the Great Heaven Palace. They had just entered the Internal Sea, and had never heard of Ning Fan's reputation. They did not expect that the person they were mocking was actually an expert of this level. Moreover, Ning Fan's ruthlessness had far exceeded their expectations. He did not waste time talking or arguing with them at all. He did not even bother to see who the people who were mocking him were. He directly attacked and killed them without hesitation. Ruthless. He was a ruthless man. He drew his sword and killed someone just because of a disagreement. He was a lunatic like Yin Tianjue. Moreover, his strength was so terrifying. How could they provoke him? If they had known that Ning Fan was so ruthless, they would not have come to humiliate the members of the Great Heaven Palace out of boredom. They must have had nothing better to do. Facing Ning Fan's void glimpse stage attack, they knew that they would definitely die. They could not even resist or escape. At the moment when they were about to die, a golden fire palm that stretched for 1,000 li suddenly slammed down from the sky. It carried the aura force of a void inquiry stage attack, and clashed with Ning Fan's gigantic black fire claw. Samadhi Fire Palm. Ning Fan had seen and learned this technique before. It was a low-grade mortal void magic technique of the Rain Palace. The person who unleashed this palm attack obviously had an extremely profound level of control over flames. In his hands, the destructive power of a mere low-grade mortal void magic technique was actually comparable to some mid-grade mortal void magic techniques. If this person uses a mid-grade mortal void magic technique with his void inquiry stage cultivation base, wouldn't he be able to put up a fight against a void pierce stage expert? When the fire palm and the fire claw collided, sky-covering waves of fire swept across the sky and cancelled each other out. Among the waves of fire, an elderly man in golden robes appeared. He appeared in front of the 5 refinement masters of the Scarlet Heaven Palace, and saved them. The elderly man in golden robes glanced at the 5 of them. When he saw that all of them were severely injured, his eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. Even though he tried to save them, he was still one step too late after all, causing the 5 of them to be injured by Ning Fan. The elderly man in golden robes glanced at Ning Fan coldly. His eyes were filled with anger and met Ning Fan's gaze. "I'm the Palace Lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace, Missouri Xiao. You are a revered elder of the Great Heaven Palace, while the 5 of them are the revered elders of my Scarlet Heaven Palace. Just because of a few words, you want to kill the revered elders of my Scarlet Heaven Palace. Isn't that too much?" The elderly man in golden robes said coldly. A dignified revered elder of the Scarlet Heaven Palace actually hid in the clouds and insulted others. In a place like the Endless Sea, it serves you right even if you die because of this. Humph! You sharp-tongued brat. Even if your strength is comparable to a void glimpse stage expert, it's still not worth mentioning in my eyes. If it wasn't because of the Rain Sovereign's order not to touch you, I will certainly teach you a lesson today. The golden-robed old man let out a cold snort. He waved his sleeve, creating layers of flames, and brought his 5 subordinates toward the giant demon clan. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. That golden-robed elderly man was very strong. He was definitely not any weaker than King Yinglong. If it wasn't because of his interference, Ning Fan would certainly have killed the 5 rascals without leaving any survivors. The 5 of them would have ended the battle with just severe injuries. He didn't like to talk nonsense. He would always kill those who came looking for death. The Palace Master of the Scarlet Heaven Palace. The conflict between the Scarlet Heaven Palace and the Great Heaven Palace was much more complicated than he imagined. He knew that the Rain Emperor was suspicious of Yun Tianjue. Yet he had never imagined that the Great Heaven Palace, which was under Yun Tianjue's command, would actually be targeted by the other palace lords. As the #1 righteous sect in the Rain world, the Rain Palace seemed to have a lot of dirty dealings within its internal department. Just as Ning Fan was deep in thought, the cultivators of the giant devil clan at the side were already petrified. What did they see? They actually saw Ning Fan make a move. A single claw actually tore apart 100,000 miles of the void. Too strong. They also saw the clash between Ning Fan and Mo Xiao. That destructive power was really earth-shattering. Is this the power of a void refinement realm battle? From afar, Yu Lingkong and Fun Qi noticed the fluctuations of the battle and hurried over. The 2 of them looked at Ning Fan with their beautiful eyes filled with worry. Both of their appearances were peerless beauties in the cultivation world, especially Yu Lingkong. Her beauty was as faint as moonlight, as if she did not belong to this world. It made Zhao Shuai and the other men breathe heavily. However, they quickly lowered their heads, not daring to look at Yu Lingkong. Even a fool could guess that these 2 women had a close relationship with Ning Fan. Who would dare to peek at Ning Fan's women? Little cucumber, what happened? I sense the fluctuations of a battle. The other party is very strong. At least, he is unrivaled among void inquiry stage experts. Don't worry. It's just a small matter. 6 old dogs have come to bite you. As a human, can you still bite them back? Ning Fan smiled faintly and did not mention anything about what happened just now. Then he turned around and said to Zhao Shuai, "We are going to the giant devil clan. Little friend, please lead the way." "Yes. It's my honor to be able to lead the way for revered Ming." "Little friend." Ning Fan actually addressed Zhao Shuai as little friend. Ning Fan's bone age was only 500, but Zhao Shuai was already more than 1,000 years old. In the cultivation world, seniority was determined by one's cultivation level. Bone age was secondary. Zhao Shuai kept addressing Ning Fan as senior. Thus, Zhao Shuai naturally referred to Ning Fan as little friend. The current Ning Fan was already so strong that he was regarded as a junior everywhere. Zhao Shuai and the other cultivators of the giant devil clan cleaned up the battlefield. They kept their companions' corpses and the whale dragon's remains that were floating on the surface of the sea. Ning Fan was not interested in these whale dragons' remains. However, to these juniors, they were all supreme materials for refining treasures. After all, the whale dragon's defensive capabilities were obvious to all. Ning Fan did not kill the cultivators of the giant devil clan. Moreover, he was extremely strong. Thus, Zhao Shuai was naturally very willing to lead the way for Ning Fan. He took out a devil boat magic treasure, intending to carry Ning Fan on his journey. Ning Fan indifferently glanced at the devil boat. When he saw that it was just a nascent soul realm escape treasure, he shook his head. Your speed is too slow. As soon as he finished speaking, Ning Fan flicked his sleeves. Countless traces of black flames and smoke appeared around him. He had displayed a teleportation technique. Teleportation technique allowed one to fly while carrying someone. With Ning Fan's current cultivation base, even if he did not summon the 8 black burning wings, his teleportation speed was already close to the standard of a void refinement realm cultivator. With just a single teleportation, he traveled 70,000 li. This kind of speed shocked Zhao Shuai and the other cultivators of the giant devil clan. They had never experienced flying at such a high speed in their entire lives. Each of the low-level cultivators' eyes were filled with excitement. To them, this flight was definitely an extremely precious experience. However, if they knew that this speed was far beyond Ning Fan's maximum speed, how surprised would they be? Little cucumber, what are you thinking about? Yu Lingkong looked at Ning Fan, who was frowning slightly, and asked, I'm thinking about the strangeness of the giant devil clan. I'm wondering if Qiuling is doing well. Ning Fan's expression was solemn. He could not see through the foundation of the giant devil clan. Oh, hearing that Ning Fan was thinking about another woman, Yu Lingkong's brows knitted together. She really wanted to kick Ning Fan, but she did not understand the reason. I'm still thinking if I should give you a gift. Ning Fan was also thinking about the pill ceremony and the void inquiry pill. What gift? As soon as she heard that Ning Fan was going to give her a gift, Yu Lingkong's brows relaxed and she smiled proudly. At least little cucumber is sensible. He even knows to give me a gift. It's a secret. Ning Fan's act of keeping her in suspense made her feel that he was asking for a beating. He was asking for a lesson. She refused to believe that she, the dignified female tyrant of the internal sea, could not handle a little cucumber. Tonight, she would definitely give him a good beating. Let's see if he still dares to keep her in suspense in the future. Chapter 448. The giant demon race had more than 400 subordinate islands and 13 subordinate demon nations in the demonic ice sea, different from the 3 great devil clans that were suppressing the tranquil ocean. The giant devil clan had attached themselves to the Thunder Sovereign and had developed by leaps and bounds. Among all the islands and devil kingdoms, the largest island was called the Cold Northern Island. It occupied an area of 70 million square kilometers. The biggest country was called the Northern Liang country. It was almost as big as a high-grade cultivation country in the Rain world. Most of the members of the giant devil clan lived in the Northern Liang country. The pill ceremony this time was also held in the Northern Liang country. Su Qiuling was also in Northern Liang. After entering the inner region of the Devil Ice Sea, Ning Fan slowed down his speed slightly. Along the way, he learned about the local customs and practices of the forces on the various islands of the giant devil clan. Every island was guarded by the giant devil clan's devil guards. Fiendish cultivators came and went in the sea region, but few dared to cause trouble in the inner regions of the devilish ice sea. When the pill ceremony was held, countless old monsters of the endless sea came from all directions, hoping to watch this grand ceremony. The giant demon islands became even more bustling with cultivators coming and going in an endless stream. Along the way, Ning Fan slowed down his speed and enjoyed the scenery along the way with Yu Lingkong, and Fen Qi. One had to admit that the scenery of the sea domain of the giant devil clan was picturesque like a paradise. It was hard to imagine that this place was a place where devil cultivators gathered. At the beginning of cultivation, the old monster had told Ning fans this truth. The evil sect and the mysterious sect could not be seen just by looking at their appearance. The righteous and demonic paths only differed in their cultivation methods. It was the human heart that was hard to distinguish between good and evil. Zhao Shuai continued to introduce the local customs and practices of the giant devil clan to them. His expression was rather contented. In the inner sea, the demon ice sea where the giant demon clan was located was publicly recognized as a paradise. This island is called Cold Smoke Island. Its specialty is the cloud smoke spirit ore. This devil kingdom is called the Cold Dew Country. It is the fourth strongest devil kingdom under the rule of the giant devil race. Zhao Shuai tirelessly introduced the customs of the various countries and islands. He was especially excited when he talked about the Northern Liang. The cold northern country is where the giant demon clan's ancestral temple is located. It covers an area of 70 million miles, and there are 4 million demonic cultivators living in this country. It is said that the reason why this country is called the Northern Cold Country is because of the lament of the ancestor of the giant devil clan. When will I return to the north and not return to my hometown? The road of cultivation is lonely and my heart is cold. Zhao Shuai continued to talk about the rumors in the cold northern country. Funqi had never left the Six-Winged Clan before. This was her first time coming to a country on the ocean. Naturally, she was very interested in the local customs and practices of the giant devil clan. Although Yu Lingkong had been to the giant devil clan before, she hadn't been there many times. Thus, she was interested in Zhao Shuai's words. Ning Fan was the only one who did not listen to Zhao Shuai's words. When he heard the giant demon ancestor sigh, he fell silent. This sigh seemed to touch his heart, making him empathize with the giant demon ancestor. When will I not be able to return to my hometown when I look towards the north? The road of cultivation is lonely and my heart is cold. To cultivators, returning to their hometown is just an extravagant hope. The path of cultivation is bleak and desolate. The Northern Liang, these two words describe the loneliness of cultivators. It is just like the wind and snow. In this wind and snow, there is originally the feeling of loneliness like snow. Ning Fan carefully savored these two sentences. These two sentences were the reflection and sigh of the ancestor of the giant devil clan towards the path of cultivation. Once a cultivator embarks on the path of cultivation, they would have to leave their hometown and travel across the sea of blood alone. They could only look towards their hometown in the north and feel nostalgic, but they would never be able to return to their hometown. This was a lonely path. A lonely path. It was a path of no return. Just like Ning Fan who was drifting in the rain world, he did not know when he would be able to return to Yu country. The path was right under his feet. However, time and the past were intertwined. It would only get further and further away. Humans could not stop. If they stop, they would only die drunk in the land of love and tenderness. In the end, they would not have the chance to attain the great Tao. The desolate wind and snow that filled the sky seemed to have gradually disappeared. It was not snow. In Ning Fan's mind, each piece of snow was the sigh of a cultivator who had to leave his hometown and wander in the world. The cold northern country. The giant devil clan is indeed very special. This snow is also very special. If I'm not mistaken, this snow is a large-scale magic technique. As Ning Fan comprehended it, he could vaguely see that the wind and snow that filled the sky was actually a large-scale magic technique. It contained a trace of the qi of an expert of the giant devil clan. That qi was similar to Zhao Shuai. It was the bloodline of the giant devil clan. However, it was countless times stronger than Zhao Shuai. This wind and snow was an extremely large-scale magic technique. The range of the magic technique covered the entire Devil Ice Sea, 400 islands and 13 devil countries. Ning Fan could also change the weather with his divine intent of rain. However, the range of his ability to change the weather was definitely not as large as this. The wind and snow were too heaven-defying. Even Void Glimpse stage and Void Inquiry stage old monsters could not do it. This snow is a magic technique of a Void Pierce stage expert. The Giant Devil Clan has a Void Pierce stage expert. A Void Pierce stage expert and a late void refinement realm expert. The giant devil clan really cannot be underestimated. Everyone in the world has underestimated the giant devil clan. They are a devil clan that pretends to be a pig to eat a tiger. What about their ancestors dying in battle? And what about their decline? They are all lies. Half a month later, the cold northern country finally appeared in front of them. It was a sea country with snow-capped mountains. Each of the devil cultivators who were guarding the islands wore thick marten coats. Ning Fan stopped his movement light, and the group descended. Immediately, they were stopped by groups of devil cultivators. It just so happened that the cold northern country was under martial law, and no one was allowed to enter the island. There were also many old monsters from various places who came to participate in the pill ceremony, who were stopped outside the island. Each of the old monsters wore an unpleasant expression. Those who could travel thousands of li to the cold northern country were all seniors and experts with great identities. As seniors and experts, they were stopped outside the country and were not allowed to enter. It was really a great loss of face. However, the giant devil clan was guarded by venerated giant. It was one of the 8 venerated beings of the internal sea. No, 7 venerated beings. Venerated giant's cultivation base had reached the half-step void refinement realm. His combat strength was earth-shattering. With him guarding the cold northern country, no one would dare to create trouble here. Each of the old monsters only dared to be angry, but did not dare to say anything. Besides, not all old monsters were not allowed to enter the cold northern country. Those who were strong and had special identities could also be given special treatment and allowed to enter the island. For example, the people of the Scarlet Heaven Palace who arrived at the cold northern country a step earlier than Ning Fan were not stopped outside the island. Most of them had already entered the country with their special identities. Among the devil guards, there were a few divine transformation realm old monsters. Each of their expressions were cold and arrogant. They carried the pride of the giant devil clan, and were not afraid of offending others at all. However, when this group of cold and indifferent cultivators saw Zhao Shuai, all of them showed friendliness and greeted him. The leader of the devil guards, in particular, had a mid-divine transformation realm cultivation base. However, he treated Zhao Shuai as an equal, and was especially friendly towards him. Younger brother Zhao, you're back? Oh, isn't this a 30,000 years old ice ginseng? You actually found this tuft of ice ginseng. Ah, this is really a joyous occasion. Now, we have found another portion of the main medicine to cure the eldest mistress' illness. Younger brother Zhao, you've really made a great contribution this time. The members of the giant devil clan were cold to outsiders, but they were very emotional to their own people. Ning Fan had already witnessed this before. Even when he was surrounded by the whale dragons, Zhao Shuai did not leave any of his companions behind. All he did was fight to the death against the common enemy. Compared to the profound sects that were full of deceit, Ning Fan preferred the atmosphere of the giant devil clan. It was full of emotions and it actually gave him a sense of déjà vu from the 7 Apricot City. I'm just lucky. I don't dare to claim credit, but for this ice ginseng, we've lost many of our brothers this time. Speaking of which, why is the entire northern Liang country under martial law today? What happened? Zhao Shuai let out a long sigh. The sadness in his eyes was not an act. However, he suppressed his sadness and asked about the reason behind the martial law. The martial law in the northern Liang country is not a big deal. It's just because the eldest mistress has gone missing again. Let's not talk about this for now. Younger brother Zhao, the devil guards that you brought with you this time are all elites who have experienced life and death for a long time. Besides, they are members of the giant devil clan. Who dares to snatch the ice ginseng and kill our people in the internal sea? The leader of the devil guards said angrily. Of course, no one dares to provoke our giant devil clan. It's just a group of beasts who are trying to snatch the medicine. Whale dragons. After hearing that their eldest mistress had gone missing, Zhao Shuai and the others seemed to be used to it. They were not worried at all, and began to narrate their experiences along the way. What? Whale dragons. Rumor has it that whale dragons appear in groups. Usually, there would be 1 to 2 wild beasts following them. The wild beasts of whale dragons have the toughest skin and flesh. It's really rare for younger brother to be able to escape from them. It's indeed rare. If it wasn't for Senior Zhou's help, I certainly wouldn't have been able to come back. Zhao Shuai's eyes were filled with gratitude as he pointed at Ning Fan. All of a sudden, all the devil guards' gazes gathered on Ning Fan. Before this, they only saw Zhao Shuai and all of them were concerned about him. None of them paid attention to the others at all. Moreover, Ning Fan had concealed his qi. If he did not take the initiative to release his qi, it would be difficult for others to tell that he was an expert. Thus, it was impossible for them to pay attention to him. Now that they heard that Ning Fan had saved Zhao Shuai and the latter addressed him as senior, all of them guessed that Ning Fan was undoubtedly a divine transformation realm expert. The giant devil clan had always been grateful to those who helped them. Since Ning Fan had saved Zhao Shuai, each of the devil guards cupped their fists and prepared to express their gratitude to Ning Fan. However, when the devil guards raised their heads and saw Ning Fan's face clearly, all of their expressions changed drastically within a breath's time. Their breathing became heavier, and they were trembling with fear. As for the old monsters who were denied entry to the island and resented the heavens and earth, they also began to pay attention to Ning Fan. As soon as they saw Ning Fan's face, all of them looked as if they had seen a ghost. Venerated Ming. He is venerated Ming. Zhou Ming. Look, isn't that the divine space island lord, Yu Lingkong beside him? It's absolutely true. Zhou Ming is here. This Mo Xiao. No, why did this senior come to our giant devil clan? Brothers, quickly activate the island's grand formation. Quick. Quick. Summon the Jing devil guards, Shang devil guards, Xiu devil guards and Susu to this place. Stop Zhou Ming and protect the giant devil island. Damn it. Send the signal and inform venerated giant. The danger of extermination is upon us. Will we be killed? Will we be killed later? As soon as the devil guards of the giant devil clan found out Ning Fan's identity, they immediately fell into chaos. In a split second, multiple signals soared into the sky. Within a few breaths of time, the entire cold northern country's 70 million li radius was turned on and martial law was enforced. As for those old monsters who were grumbling incessantly just a moment ago, all of them were running for their lives, far away from the northern cold country, as they were afraid of getting involved with Ning Fan. Ning Fan had been completely regarded as a malignant star by the giant devil clan. He was regarded as a malignant star who could not distinguish right from wrong, and would annihilate the entire clan. Through Su Russian, Ning Fan actually had a friendly relationship with the giant devil clan. However, this friendship was only known to a few of the giant demon's higher-ups. Ordinary clansmen did not know about it. In the hearts of ordinary clan members, wherever Ning Fan goes, there would be a sea of blood. Just a few months ago, Ning Fan had just killed the master of the demon sealing sect, leading to the destruction of the sect. Today, Ning Fan had suddenly descended upon the giant devil clan. A devil lord of this level would cause fear wherever he goes. Ning Fan rubbed his forehead. His infamy and notoriety had actually reached such an extent. As soon as he entered the northern Liang country, he could make the entire country be on high alert. It really made him speechless. Was he a god of plagues? Everyone looked at him like he was a ghost. Of course, even though the entire northern Liang country was on high alert, no one dared to take the initiative to attack Ning Fan for fear of offending him. The heavens had taken pity on them. They only activated their defensive formations and put the entire country on high alert because they were afraid that Ning Fan would kill and destroy the entire country. Ha ha ha. Little cucumber, your reputation is just too great. You're just like a street rat. I'm dying of laughter. Yu Lingkong clutched her stomach and burst into laughter without caring about her image. Fun Qi also covered her mouth seductively with her hands. She wanted to laugh but she did not dare to. She used to think that Ning Fan was a cold-blooded and heartless devil lord. However, after getting along with him during this period of time, she felt that even though Ning Fan's personality was cold, he was only cold to his enemies. He was quite nice to his own people, and he was not a bloodthirsty person. Based on her understanding of Ning Fan, if the giant devil clan did not provoke him, he would definitely not destroy an entire country. Looking at Ning Fan's conflicted expression, Fan Qi suddenly felt that this cold and indifferent young man was actually very easygoing, and even a little cute. Stop. A dignified shout suddenly resounded from afar. It stopped all the vigilance of the devil guards of the giant devil clan, and turned off all the formation lights. It was an elderly man with white hair and white robes. He was the great elder of the giant devil clan, and his cultivation base was at the peak divine transformation realm. This old man is the great elder of the giant devil clan Fu Bai. Greetings to venerated Ming. Our subordinates are ignorant. They don't know the relationship between venerated Ming and our giant devil clan. That's why they acted recklessly. Please forgive us. What great elder Fu Bai said made each of the cultivators of the giant devil clan and the outsiders dumbfounded. Ning Fan actually has a close relationship with the giant devil clan? Then he didn't come to the giant devil clan to kill and exterminate the entire clan? What's going on? What's going on? Everyone was in a state of confusion. Didn't the rumors say that Ning Fan would kill wherever he goes? According to the rumors, Ning Fan was a god of slaughter. Could it be that the truth was not like that? Haha. Little cucumber, look. They all thought that you came to the giant devil clan to kill people for fun. Yu Lingkong was still laughing. All of a sudden, she felt a sharp pain on her buttocks. Ning Fan had slapped her buttocks hard, causing her flesh to ripple. As her private parts were attacked, a numb and shameful feeling swept across her entire body, making her unable to laugh anymore. Her expression was filled with anger and embarrassment. At the same time, there was a hint of indescribable comfort. She still feels comfortable after being humiliated. How could she be so despicable? Humiliation. Humiliation. She, the dignified Yu Lingkong, the dignified lord of the divine space island, and the strongest expert among the 7 venerated beings of the internal sea, was actually slapped by Ning Fan in public. If she doesn't slap him back, would she still be called Yu Lingkong? Hiss. Each of the old monsters rubbed their eyes in disbelief. What did they just see? Yu Lingkong's buttocks were slapped? Isn't Yu Lingkong the female tyrant of the internal sea? Isn't she rumored to have broken through to the void refinement realm, and is unrivaled among void glimpse stage experts? How could she still be slapped? This doesn't make sense. Venerated Ming is really powerful. He actually dares to slap a tigress buttocks. Yu Lingkong was about to lose her temper and slap Ning Fan's buttocks. However, Ning Fan pulled her into his arms and said angrily, "Behave yourself. Otherwise, I will forget about giving you the gift. How dare you? If you don't give me the gift, I will fuck you 100 times. 100 times. Yu Lingkong was very curious about that gift. Even though Ning Fan had taken advantage of her, she did not talk back anymore. Instead, she held back her dissatisfaction and obediently lay in Ning Fan's arms like a submissive kitten. TSK. For the sake of that annoying gift, I'll just submit to Little Cucumber for the time being. However, when she thought that her humiliating behavior had been seen by others, her face immediately turned cold. Her cold eyes swept across the surroundings. She did not look angry at all. Each of the old monsters did not dare to breathe too loudly. One after another, they shifted their gazes away, not daring to look at Yu Lingkong's current disheveled appearance, as they were afraid of angering this female tyrant. Scary. Too scary. Ning Fan was scary. His woman was also very scary. Neither of them could be offended. Fu Bai let out a hollow laugh and shifted his gaze away. He did not dare to look at Yu Lingkong, who was in Ning Fan's arms, as he was afraid of offending her. He could only cup his fists at Ning Fan again and said, "Ehe." The servants were insensible and caused a huge commotion. Please forgive them, venerated Ming. If venerated Ming is willing, this old man can make some compensation for these servants. There's no need for compensation. They did not attack me and they did not cross my bottom line. It's just a misunderstanding. I don't mind it. Ning Fan let go of Yu Lingkong and returned the greeting with a smile. His expression was not arrogant at all. It was as if he had the intention of forgetting all grudges with a smile. His arrogance was the pride that came from his bones. He would not yield to any enemy, but he would not impose it on any of his friends. Each of the old monsters was left speechless. It seemed like their understanding of Ningfan was just one-sided. Ningfan did not seem to be as cruel and bloodthirsty as the rumors said. Thank you for your magnanimity, fellow Taoist. Due to the martial law in northern Liang being enforced today, there was a small problem. Otherwise, venerated giant, venerated Dong Su and Miss Chioling would certainly come to welcome you. Fu Bai explained. Chioling. Ningfan muttered this name with gentle eyes. It had only been a short period of time since they last met, and he really missed her. That woman who was as beautiful as a flower in poetry had spent her entire life to provide for his love. Thinking about the reason for the martial law in northern Liang, Ningfan suddenly asked. It is said that the reason for the martial law in northern Liang is because the eldest daughter of a noble clan has gone missing. Fellow Taoist Fu, aren't you worried about her safety? Fellow Taoist Zhou, you might not know about this, but the eldest daughter's disappearance is not a big deal. She was just being naughty for a moment. Her safety is definitely not a problem. The martial law in northern Liang is just to prevent her from escaping the island. She won't be found by anyone with ulterior motives. Because as long as she wants to hide, even the experts of our clan will not be able to find her even if they use all of their means. Let's not talk about this anymore. Currently, venerated giant, venerated Dong Su and Miss Chioling are dealing with some troublesome matters in the province. If fellow Taoist wants to go to the province, this old man can lead the way. However, before the matter is resolved, I'm afraid fellow Taoist won't be able to see venerated giant for the time being. Troublesome matters? Is there anything I can help you with? Ningfan was originally unwilling to get involved in the matters of the giant devil clan. However, when he heard that Su Chioling was also troubled by the troubles of the giant devil clan, he naturally wanted to help her share some of the troubles. Oh, if I have fellow Taoist's help, this matter can be easily resolved. Fellow Taoist, please follow me. We will head to the province as soon as possible. This old man will tell fellow Taoist the whole story along the way. Speaking of which, this matter was caused by the eldest daughter's mischievous disappearance. When Elder Fu Bai talked about the eldest daughter, he felt both a headache and a doting expression. The eldest daughter of the giant devil clan, Feng Shuiyan, was really a little trouble. A little trouble that made people feel sorry for her, and could not bear to hurt her. Chapter 449. There were many teleportation arrays in the northern Liang country. There was no need for Ningfan to personally fly across the 70 million li of the country. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, Ningfan and the others had already arrived at the northern Liang province. Zhao Shuai and the others went to the clan to hand over the iced ginseng and complete their mission. Under Great Elder Fu Bai's lead, Ningfan, Yu Ying and Funfun headed to the evening snow pavilion in the province. The evening snow pavilion stood amidst thousands of snowy mountains, implying the meaning of 1,000 mountains of evening snow. There were layers of formation light and guards outside the pavilion. Outside the formation light, there was an ancient stele with several lines of ancient characters written on it. It was the Gu Tua demonic text. What is love in the world? It teaches you to live and die together. Two travelers from all over the world. How many times have my wings returned to winter and summer? Joy is fun, parting is bitter, and there are even infatuated children. Jun Yingying's words. Vast and boundless layers of clouds, thousands of mountains in the evening snow. Only the shadow goes to who? These lines of devil characters were from a long time ago. They were signed by the giant devil progenitor. There was another line of small words at the bottom of the inscription. Giant demon six-winged, I will not give up in life or death. If you become the devil's slave, I will follow you. From these words, one could see that the giant demon ancestor was an infatuated person. He was trapped by love, but never regretted it. Ningfan's impression of the giant devil clan deepened. This clan was indeed a devil clan that valued relationships. He also noticed that the giant demon progenitor had mentioned the giant demon six-winged. Perhaps the monarch referred to the six-winged progenitor, whereas the Chia referred to the giant devil progenitor. The progenitor of the giant devil clan is actually a woman. Ningfan said in surprise. From this small tablet, He could guess the gender of the giant demon progenitor. From the sentence, "If you become a devil slave, I will naturally follow you," Ning Fan had some guesses in his mind. Perhaps Great Emperor Mo Luo had subdued the 4 great devil slaves before 6-winged giant devil Lu Yi became a demon slave, and the giant demon progenitor became disheartened. He willingly became a slave and followed Lu Yi. If Ning Fan's guess was correct, the ancestor of the giant devil clan was an infatuated woman. Ning Fan was just thinking about this kind of secret, and did not really care about it. Yu and Fun, on the other hand, felt a little sad when they saw the farewell poem on the tablet. After all, they were women. The group followed First Elder Fu Bai into the evening snow pavilion. A solemn and cold atmosphere suddenly spread out from the evening snow pavilion, and they could faintly hear some arguments. Along the way, Ning Fan had already been told the whole story by Fu Bai. Thus, he naturally knew what was going on in the evening snow pavilion. The king of Shirlu country, a void-grade cultivation country of the rain world, came to the giant devil clan. Shirkuan, the country lord of Shirlu country, was a void glimpse stage cultivator. At the same time, he possessed a strong physical body at the first level of the golden body realm. He had cultivated a fiend god cultivation method called the Ghost Stone Divine Vein to the point of perfection. Under dual cultivation of body and magic power, there were rarely any void glimpse stage cultivators who were his match at the same level as him. He claimed that he came to the giant devil clan to look for Feng Shuiyan, so that she could help him inscribe devil marks on himself. Feng Shuiyan was the eldest daughter of the giant devil clan. At the same time, she was also an inscription master whose name shook the entire internal sea. Ever since she was born, she had contracted a strange illness. Her body was constantly feverish, and she was unable to cultivate. Her cultivation was only at the 10th level of the vein opening realm. She was sickly and said to be mute. She often needed large amounts of pseudo-desolate beast monster cores to refine into devil cores to prolong her life. This young lady had been a loner since she was young. However, no one knew why she was born with the inscription technique. Many body cultivators requested her to inscribe devil marks on their juniors. If she was willing to inscribe devil marks, she could inscribe any kind of general rank devil marks on you. She had even inscribed a martial rank devil mark on a senior, and became famous for a while. If she was unwilling to inscribe devil marks on you, she would hide herself and refuse to see anyone. Even though her cultivation base was low, she was especially good at hiding herself. She would not reveal any trace of her chi. No one could find her, and they could only wait for her to show herself. This was indeed a strange thing. This time, Feng Shuiyan was initially unwilling to inscribe devil marks on herself. However, Shirlu country was too powerful and the giant devil clan could not afford to offend them. In order to prevent her father from being troubled, she agreed to inscribe devil marks on Shirkuan's son. However, on the day of the inscription, she suddenly went back on her word and hid herself. This matter made the country lord of Shirlu country furious. He demanded an explanation from the giant devil clan. Why did the giant devil clan go back on their word? Venerable Giant also had a headache because of this daughter of his. However, he knew that his daughter would not throw a tantrum when it came to major matters. There was a rumor that the night before Feng Shuiyan went back on her word, the son of the country lord of Shirlu country had sneaked into her bedroom. After learning about this news, Venerable Giant was inwardly furious. He had already guessed that Feng Shuiyan's sudden disappearance must have something to do with the son of Shirlu country. After that, a dispute broke out between both parties. The country lord of Shirlu country proposed to either hand over Feng Shuiyan and let her inscribe the devil marks on his son to fulfill the agreement between both parties. Otherwise, the giant devil clan must compensate Shirlu country. As for the compensation that the country lord of Shirlu country wanted, it was actually the void inquiry pill that the giant devil clan had given him as the reward for completing the mission. With Ning Fan's intelligence, he could tell that something was fishy just by listening to Fu Bai's rough description. The reason why the country lord of Shirlu country came to the giant devil clan to inscribe devil marks on his son was probably because he wanted the void inquiry pill. Didn't the country lord of Shirlu country need a void inquiry pill to break through to the void inquiry stage? This person was a Void Glimpse stage-old monster. Moreover, he was an unrivaled expert among Void Glimpse stage experts. The giant devil clan could not afford to offend Shirlu country. However, Ningfan's strength, spiritual puppets and Yu Lingkong were much stronger than Shirlu country in every aspect. Later on, I hope that fellow Taoists can show up and intimidate the country lord of Shirlu country on behalf of our giant devil clan. At the same time, let him know that the giant devil clan is not to be trifled with. Then he can put away some of his schemes. Fu Bai requested. Don't worry. I will still take action this time even if it's for Qiuling's sake. I know what I'm doing. However, I have a question. I've heard of a rumor before. Isn't there a Void Pierce stage expert in the giant devil clan? Why are you afraid of a Void Glimpse stage expert? Cough cough. Fellow Taoist must be joking. This news is definitely a rumor. The members of our giant devil clan are weak and feeble. How can we have a Void Pierce stage expert? Fu Bai let out a few dry coughs. His expression did not change, but a hint of surprise flashed across his eyes. Ningfan caught it. What is he surprised about? Could it be that the giant devil clan really has a Void Pierce stage expert? However, if they really have a Void Pierce stage expert, would they stand by and watch the giant devil clan being bullied by others? Even though he was not sure if there was a Void Pierce stage expert in the giant devil clan, he was certain of one thing. Even though he was not sure if there was a Void Pierce stage expert in the giant devil clan, he was certain of one thing. Fortunately, both of them did not hold any grudges against each other. Even if the giant devil clan had their own secrets, they would not target him. In the evening snow pavilion, venerated giant Zhu Qing and old ancestor Dong Su were sitting on the main seats. Su Qiuling and a few elders of the giant devil clan were sitting below them. 7 people were sitting on the guest seats. The leader of the group was a burly man in yellow robes. His muscles were strong and muscular and he looked strong and courageous. He was none other than the king of Shirlu country, Shirkuan. His body was flowing with a vast aura force, making the air feel oppressive. Beside Shirkuan sat a yellow-faced young man. His appearance was not bad, but he was skinny and weak, as if his body had been hollowed out by alcohol and women. He was not a good man. His cultivation base was at the peak nascent soul realm. He was Shirkuan's son. As for the other 5 people, they were the guardians of Shirlu country. Each of them had a terrifying cultivation base of the half-step void refinement realm. Zhu Qing, I made an agreement with you to tattoo the devil marks on my son. My son came all the way to the endless sea from 800 cultivation countries. You've accepted my generous gift, but you returned. You've embarrassed me. Your giant devil clan must give me an explanation. Otherwise, your clan will be annihilated. Humph. What kind of explanation do you want? Venerated giant's eyes were cold and his tone was filled with anger. Hand over Feng Shuiyan or the void inquiry pill within 3 days. Shirkuan said firmly. Could it be that the reason why the country lord of Shirlu country went through so much trouble to come to the endless sea was to seize the void inquiry pill of the giant devil clan? Old ancestor Dong Su's eyes were filled with mockery. He was not a fool. To be exact, none of the people in the room were fools. Everyone could see that this series of events was planned by the country lord of Shirlu country. His goal was to seize the void inquiry pill. Humph. I'm talking to Zhu Qing. Who do you think you are? How dare you interrupt us? The country lord of Shirlu country suddenly stood up and took a step forward. A vast aura force that could collapse mountains and crack the earth swept across the area and pressed down on Zhu Qing and Dong Su. With just one strike, the 2 of them let out a muffled groan. Their eyes were filled with shock and they coughed out blood. Their injuries were not light. Zhu Qing and Dong Su had never thought that the country lord of Shirlu country would actually be so strong. He could injure half-step void refinement realm experts with just his aura force. The 7 venerated experts of the internal sea were not even worth mentioning compared to the country lord of Shirlu country. This person was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts. Even though Zhu Qing knew that this person was plotting against the giant devil clan, he was still powerless to fight against him. Could it be that I have no choice but to open the secret place and ask the 8 ancestors for help? However, what the 8 ancestors are planning is only to solve the problem of the slave marks of my giant devil clan, and let our ancestors escape from the abyss of suffering. If I open the secret place, the efforts of the 8 generations of ancestors will be wasted. Zhu Qing clenched his teeth and clenched his fists. No way. I must not let the Void Inquiry Pill affect the great plan of the 8 ancestors. However, he was really reluctant to give away the Void Inquiry Pill. It was not that he was reluctant to give away the pill itself. Instead, it was because he still hoped to use the pill to save his daughter. The reason why he organized the pill ceremony was to find 3 pill refinement masters and borrow the 3 talents devil-devouring formation to concoct a pill together to save Feng Shuiyan's life. He had a total of 3 Void Inquiry pills. All of them were pills passed down by his ancestors as a reward for inviting the pill refinement masters. The country lord of Sherlu country obviously coveted the Void Inquiry Pill. If he was given a pill, this matter would certainly be resolved. However, without a Void Inquiry Pill as a reward, Zhu Qing did not have the confidence to take out other good items to invite the pill refinement masters. This time, the pill refinement masters he wanted to invite must be at least high-grade 5th Revolution pill refinement masters. Pill refinement masters of this level were all famous masters in the Rain world. Each of them was proud and arrogant. Without paying a huge price, why would they concoct pills for Feng Shuiyan? Could it be that I have no choice but to give Shirkuan a Void Inquiry Pill? Zhu Qing clenched his teeth so hard that they almost broke. He was a dignified man, the leader of a clan and the indomitable Devil Lord. Today he had no choice but to lower his head. If it wasn't for the great plan of the 8 ancestors, and to wash away the humiliation of his ancestors, Zhu Qing would rather die than lower his head. All right, I'll give you the pill. Zhu Qing gritted his teeth. After saying those words, his expression became dejected. His original image of a middle-aged burly man instantly became much older. Old ancestor Dong Su watched his old friend being humiliated, but he was powerless to help. His heart was filled with anger, but there was nothing he could say. He could only sigh. The country lord of Sherlu country sneered. The Void Inquiry Pill was finally in his hands. Before he received the Void Inquiry Pill, Su Qiuling stood up gracefully. Her beautiful eyes were filled with disdain as she glanced at Shirkuan. Country Lord Shirkuan, the Void Inquiry Pill is little sister Shuiyan's life-saving item. I can't give it to you. Humph. Who do you think you are? How dare a half-step Divine Transformation Realm Junior, but into my business? Shirkuan's eyes turned cold. His aura force pressed down on Su Qiuling like raging waves. That aura force was enough to injure Zhu Qing and Dong Su. However, when it landed on Su Qiuling, it was like a gentle breeze. It did not cause any damage to her at all. Strange. Extremely strange. Shirkuan's expression turned slightly surprised. His aura force that was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts actually did not hurt Su Qiuling at all. How was this possible? What puzzled him the most was that Su Qiuling, a mere half-step Divine Transformation Realm Junior, actually did not have the slightest fear in her eyes when she looked at him. There was only contempt. This junior is actually not afraid of me. She can even ignore my aura force. Shirkuan's heart shuddered. His eyes gradually turned cold. Shirkuan would never know that Su Qiuling had never been a timid woman. On the contrary, she was very bold. She was indifferent to life and death. There was almost nothing in this world that could make her feel fear or bend her back. In this life she was the Princess Mystic Flower physique. In her previous life, she was the monarch of flowers and plants. Her cultivation base was not high, but she inherited the aura force of the flower monarch in her previous life. Even a void fragmentation realm expert might not be able to subdue Su Qiuling with his aura force, let alone a void glimpse stage old monster like Shirkuan. She was such an extraordinary woman. Humph. I didn't expect you to have such an evil method to resist my aura force. Alright. I've decided. Today, I will not only ask for the Void Inquiry Pill as compensation, but also bring you away to study the secrets of your body. You will also be considered as the compensation of the giant devil clan to me. Shirkuan's words enraged all the cultivators of the giant devil clan on the scene. However, his words could not make Su Qiuling fearful at all. You can't touch me. You can't afford to offend my man. Haha. Ridiculous. Who is your man? I can't afford to offend him. Shirkuan seemed to have heard something ridiculous. At the next moment, a terrifying baleful chi came from outside the pavilion, causing him to be unable to laugh anymore. I'm Zhou Ming. I'm her man. You can't afford to offend her. Chapter 450. It was an earth-shattering baleful aura that carried with it the aura of slaughtering the common people. In the face of this baleful chi, Shirkuan felt his breathing become sluggish. His chi instantly became chaotic. There seemed to be an illusion of a sea of blood appearing in front of his eyes. Each of the sea of blood was filled with the experts he had killed before. Along the way, countless vein opening, harmonious spirit, gold core nascent soul, and spirit-severing realm cultivators were buried in this sea of evil chi, turning into traces of evil chi. This wave of baleful chi actually contained the ferocious might of the deaths of dozens of void refinement realm experts. Moreover, there was also the baleful chi left behind by void inquiry stage old monsters. Shirkuan let out a loud shout and released all the mana in his body. Pieces of green stone scales appeared on his body. Just now he was barely able to block the pressure, but he was already sweating profusely and shocked. He couldn't imagine what kind of powerhouse could have killed so many powerhouses and accumulated such a shocking amount of evil energy. Could it be an unrivaled void inquiry stage old monster? How could Shirkuan dare to offend an old monster of that level? Shirkuan was only barely able to block the baleful aura. His son and the 5 imperial advisors he brought were directly injured by the baleful aura. The 5 half-step void refinement realm imperial advisors were bleeding from their mouths and teeth. Their primordial spirits were in excruciating pain. Shirkuan's son had the lowest cultivation base. He was only at the peak nascent soul realm. Among the young geniuses of the current Rain world, he might be considered as a heavenly pride. However, in Ning Fan's eyes he was just a speck of dust, an ant. Shirkuan's son felt as if he had suffered a heavy blow to his chest. The immortal veins in his body were broken, and the 1,000-year-old snowwood chair that he was sitting on was directly shattered by the baleful chi. He knelt on the ground and coughed out blood incessantly. He was almost killed by Ning Fan's baleful chi. Zhu Qing, Dong Su, and several giant devil elders were also shocked. Ning Fan's baleful chi did not suppress them. However, just sensing the ferocious might of his baleful chi made them feel suffocated. Many gazes were fixed on the young man who was slowly walking into the evening snow pavilion. All of them were filled with disbelief. It's Ning Fan. However, even Dong Su, who had a deep understanding of Ning Fan, could not imagine that the current Ning Fan had already become this strong. Only Su Qiuling's eyes were still as calm as before. Her clear and cold eyes were staring at Ning Fan. Her smile was like a crescent moon, which was so beautiful that it could move one's soul. Big brother, you're back. Come back. Not come, it was because wherever she was, the edge of the world would be his home. No matter where he goes, it would be his home. Ling I'll take care of this matter. You can rest assured. For your sake, I can guarantee the safety of the giant devil today. No one will be able to hurt him. Ning Fan nodded at Su Qiuling with a smile. Then he left Elder Fu Bai and the 2 ladies behind and walked towards Shirkuan alone. Every step he took felt like he was stepping on the great Tao. With every step, an even sharper aura would rise and stab towards Shirkuan. Seeing Ning Fan walking towards him step by step, Shirkuan's face turned as grim as iron. He could already tell that Ning Fan was not a void inquiry stage old monster like he had imagined. Instead, he was just a half-step void refinement realm expert. Thinking that he was frightened by a divine transformation realm junior. Thinking that a divine transformation realm junior dared to ruin his plan, dared to hurt his son, the Imperial Master, Shirkuan's expression became even more gloomy, his killing intent surging. Zhou Ming? The newly appointed revered elder of the Rain Palace? A mere soul formation venerable elder actually dares to be rude to me, courting death. Do you know that even the Void Refinement Realm Palace Lord of the Rain Palace has to treat me as an equal? Who do you think you are? Shirkuan was not a member of the Rain Palace. Even though he had heard about Ning Fan's identity as a revered elder of the Rain Palace, He did not know how highly regarded Ningfan was by the Rain Sovereign. Currently, Shirkuan only wanted to obtain the Void Inquiry Pill. After seeing Ningfan's true cultivation base, he no longer put him in his eyes. Ningfan stopped walking and stared at Shirkuan coldly from a distance of 3 zhang. Shirkuan also released his aura force. After all, he was an old monster who was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts. When he unleashed his full aura force, he certainly would not lose to Ningfan. With a flick of his sleeves, he helped his son up. Looking at the severe injuries of his son whose immortal veins were completely destroyed, Shirkuan's killing intent towards Ningfan rose to another level. "Father, kill him. Crush the giant devil clan, and avenge me," his son said viciously. "Don't worry. Even if I offend the Zhou clan today and the Rain Palace will punish me severely, I will still annihilate the giant devil clan and avenge you." Stone killing technique. Shirkuan tossed his half-crippled son to the 5 imperial advisors. With a wave of his hand, he displayed a teleportation technique and sent the imperial advisors and the others 100,000 li away. Then he took a step forward. With the immense strength of his golden body, he stomped on the ground. The force of his stomp turned into an unimaginable destructive storm, directly turning the entire evening snow pavilion into dust. The destructive force was still spreading. Within 100,000 li, countless snowy mountains were destroyed by Shirkuan's stomp. After that tremendous force spread, countless broken rocks on the ground seemed to be possessed by ghosts. They gathered together and formed several gigantic rock arms. Each of them was 1,000 zhang tall. Tens of thousands of rock arms stretched out from the ground. They clenched into fists and hurled themselves at Ningfan and the others. Each of the gigantic rock fists was powerful enough to kill a divine transformation realm expert. When tens of thousands of gigantic rock fists attacked at the same time, even a void refinement realm old monster would find it hard to survive. Such a terrifying magic technique fluctuation caused the land within 70 million li of the entire cold northern country to tremble slightly, as if there was an earthquake. Countless cultivators soared into the sky and looked in the direction of the province of the cold northern country. How could they not know that there were experts fighting in that direction? Each of the old monsters used the teleportation formation within the country to rush to the province. The old monsters who were near the battlefield also turned into rays of traveling light and flew towards the battlefield to find out what was going on. Many of the old monsters who hurried to the battlefield were shocked and exclaimed in surprise when they saw Shirkuan summoning tens of thousands of rock arms. "Isn't this man Shirkuan, the king of Shirlu country? Why did he appear in the endless sea?" This is the technique that Shirkuan is proud of, the stone-killing technique. Shirkuan cultivates the ghost stone divine veins, which allows him to control tens of thousands of rocks with the power of ghosts and gods. In the past, he severely injured an early void refinement realm expert with just a single move of the stone-killing technique. He actually used such a terrifying magic technique in the territory of the giant devil clan. Could it be that he wants to destroy the entire clan? Shirkuan is an unrivaled expert among the Void Glimpse stage experts. In the entire Rain world, he is a famous old monster. Why would he come to the giant devil clan to cause trouble? The two of them have nothing to do with each other. There shouldn't be any hatred between them. This doesn't make sense. Say, do you guys think it's because of the Void Inquiry Pill? Cough. The giant devil clan does not have a Void Refinement Realm expert, but they still held the pill ceremony on their own and invited pill refinement grandmasters to help them complete their missions. They even took out a mid-grade 6th revolution pill as a reward. TSK. A mid-grade 6th revolution Void Inquiry Pill. This is something that will drive many Void Glimpse stage old monsters crazy. Sigh, it doesn't matter why Shirkuan has enmity with the giant demon clan. Since he has made a move, the giant demon clan will definitely be exterminated today. There is no need to watch anymore. This elixir ceremony can no longer be held. All of us have come to the giant demon clan to watch the ceremony in vain. All the old monsters sighed, but no one thought that the giant demon clan could withstand Shirkuan's anger. Under Shirkuan's control, tens of thousands of stone arms clenched into fists and smashed down. The tremendous power was enough to flatten mountains and rivers. Zhu Qing, Dong Su, and all the other giant devil elders knew that this technique was not something they could defend against when they saw how powerful it was. Su Qiuling, Yu Lingkong, and Fen Qi, on the other hand, were calm and composed. Each of them had endless confidence in Ning Fan. They did not think that Ning Fan would lose to Shikuan at all. You don't have to do anything this time. Let me do it. All of you, retreat further away. Ning Fan pointed a finger at them. Countless traces of black smoke rolled up the people behind him and sent them out of the battlefield. He raised his head and looked at the innumerable stone fists. His eyes were filled with disdain. He did not try to dodge them and just let them smash down on him. Boom, boom, boom. Tens of thousands of fist lights engulfed Ning Fan. The ground cracked. Wind and snow flew everywhere. Smoke and dust engulfed heaven and earth. No one could clearly see whether Ning Fan was dead or alive under the fist lights. Shikuan smiled coldly. He could clearly feel that all of the fist lights had hit Ning Fan. In his opinion, Ning Fan was dead for sure. Each of the old monsters who were watching from the side, even though they could not see clearly and did not even know who was fighting against Shikuan, most of them were certain that Ning Fan had died under the fist lights. The wind and snow dispersed. The smoke and dust dispersed. Above the ruins of the mountains and rivers, Ning Fan, who was wearing white robes and golden armor, slowly appeared. His black hair danced wildly like a devil. His golden armor shone brilliantly like a heavenly deity. When the tens of thousands of fist lights landed on his golden armor, it only caused faint ripples of lightning light. It could not cause any damage to the golden armor at all. Shikuan's expression changed drastically. When he saw the golden armor on Ning Fan's body, he was filled with disbelief. What kind of golden armor is that? It's not a magic treasure, but an illusion formed by a magic technique. It's just an illusion formed by a magic technique. Yet it easily blocked my full-powered attack. How is this possible? Shikuan was not a cultivator of the Endless Sea. Thus, he naturally did not know about Ning Fan's crazy battle achievements. At this moment, he began to realize that he had underestimated Ning Fan. This young man was definitely not as simple as a half-step void refinement realm cultivator. Countless old monsters stared at Ning Fan, who looked like a heavenly deity clad in golden armor. Each of them did not even dare to breathe loudly. Only then did they gradually realize that the young man who was fighting against Shikuan was actually the #1 devil lord of the Endless Sea, Ning Fan. Exclamations rose again. However, this time, not everyone supported Shikuan's victory. It's venerated Ming. That young man who looks like a heavenly deity clad in golden armor is definitely venerated Ming. There's no doubt about it. Is venerated Ming standing up for the giant devil clan? Venerated Ming's infamy is not any lower than Shikuan's. Look, isn't that venerated moon standing over there? Cough cough. Venerated Ming, venerated moon, and 4 void glimpse stage spiritual puppets. It seems like Shikuan will be the unlucky one this time. Venerated moon doesn't seem to want to make a move, and venerated Ming doesn't seem to want to summon his puppet either. Do they want to fight with Shikuan with their own strength? Even though revered Ming had once killed Lu Jiefan with a single punch, Shikuan is an unrivaled expert among Void Glimpse stage experts. He is completely not on the same level as Lu Jiefan. It's hard to predict the outcome of this battle. However, venerated Ming's golden armor seems a little familiar. This old man seems to have heard of it somewhere before. That's right, this is. The devils of the Endless Sea were all shocked, and their eyes were burning. They remembered what the golden armor was. This is the armor of primordial lightning. This was the supreme technique that made the Thunder Sovereign famous. It's rumored that the armor of primordial thunder is extremely difficult to cultivate. Other than the Thunder Sovereign, no one in the Zhou clan is able to cultivate it to the level of golden armor or above. To think that revered Ming has actually done it. For revered Ming to possess such a technique, it further proves that the Zhou clan has a close relationship with revered Ming. We cannot afford to offend him. For him to be able to cultivate this technique to such a level, it shows that his talent is shocking and unparalleled. The Thunder Sovereign's secret technique is actually going to flourish in the hands of revered Ming. As the devils of the Endless Sea, there was no one who did not admire the Thunder Sovereign. It was a kind of worship that was close to fanaticism. Thunder Sovereign Buzhou had fought against the three sovereigns of the sword world all by himself without being defeated. He had made a name for himself, and his name had once spread far and wide in the Rain world. He was a legendary expert. The fact that the secret technique of such an expert appeared in Ning Fan's body made countless old monsters excited. At this moment, countless old monsters even wondered if Ning Fan would become the next Thunder Sovereign Buzhou after 10,000 years, since he was so ferocious. We must befriend this young man. We must never offend him. His future is immeasurable. With the lightning armor protecting his body, Ning Fan stood firmly under the attacks of the stone fists. He was as steady as a mountain. Looking at the tens of thousands of stone fists that continued to attack him, Ning Fan's eyes flashed with cold light. Layers of illusory black dragons appeared on his arms. Heaven and earth were filled with the roars of angry dragons. Void technique, double dragon. When he punched out, the black dragons would fall. When he punched out with both punches, heaven and earth would die. At the moment when he punched out, Ning Fan's right arm shone with golden light. His strength actually did not lose to the first level of the golden body realm. Under the enhancement of the corpse devil body, even though his strength was not as strong as the second level of the golden body realm, it was still slightly stronger than Shirkuan, who was a senior body cultivator. Rumble. An unparalleled fist light blasted out. Tens of thousands of stone arms were crushed by Ning Fan's fists. Shirkuan's eyes widened in disbelief. The countless stone arms that he had formed with his full strength were actually destroyed by Ning Fan with a single punch. He did not want to admit it, but he had no choice but to admit that Ning Fan's body refinement realm was actually slightly higher than his. Not good. While he was in a daze, Ning Fan's figure flashed and suddenly disappeared. Then he appeared behind Shirkuan. A strong sense of danger filled his heart. It made Shirkuan suddenly turn his head and collide with Ning Fan's fist bones. Rumble. Both of their fists collided with each other. Both of them used their full strength. Ning Fan took a few steps back continuously. He was inwardly surprised. Shirkuan's body refinement realm was not ordinary. Perhaps his strength could be considered as above average among the first level of the golden body realm. He only took a few steps back, but Shirkuan had taken hundreds of steps back. Every step he took, he would cough out a mouthful of blood. Every step he took would shatter countless mountains and rivers. He had actually suffered serious injuries during the exchange of blows with Ning Fan. How is this possible? Shirkuan could not imagine that not only was his physical body weaker than Ning Fan's, but it was also not just by a little bit. He could not understand why Ning Fan's physical body was so strong even though he had not completely broken through to the golden body realm. Chapter 451. After injuring Shirkuan with a single punch, Ning Fan's long hair fluttered in the wind. He approached Shirkuan in an array of traveling light and fought against him with the strength of his physical body. Shirkuan became even more astonished. Every time his punches and kicks collided with Ning Fan, he would feel as if he was hit by 1,000 mountains, causing his chest and abdomen to hurt. He had always been proud of the fact that he was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage cultivators in both body and magic power. He was especially proud of the strength of his physical body. Today, however, his magic power was obviously higher than Ning Fan's, but he lost to him in terms of physical strength. How could he remain calm? The green stone scales on his body were shattered by Ning Fan one after another. Seeing that the injuries on his physical body were worsening, Shirkuan's eyes turned ruthless. He suddenly threw a punch at Ning Fan, using the force of the collision to increase the distance between them. He patted his storage pouch and took out a black jade bottle. With a pained expression, he crushed the jade bottle. There was only a drop of black liquid in the jade bottle. As the jade bottle was crushed, it flowed out. It was as viscous as blood and filled with vast energy. Shirkuan sucked it into his stomach and refined it. All of a sudden, strange black scales appeared on Shirkuan's physical body. His chi became even more gloomy. However, his physical body was slightly stronger than before. It was now almost on par with Ning Fan's. Ning Fan's eyes turned cold. He could naturally tell that the black liquid was some kind of secret blood medicine that could increase the strength of one's physical body within a short period of time. Many old monsters in the surroundings sucked in a cold breath. Obviously, they had recognized the origin of the black liquid. The core blood of a sovereign beast. There's no mistake. This is the core blood of a sovereign beast. It's demon blood that is secretly refined from the demon core of a sovereign beast. The energy contained in a drop of the core blood of a sovereign beast is almost equivalent to that of a sovereign beast's demon core. What? A sovereign beast? That's a ferocious beast comparable to a void fragmentation realm expert. The energy contained in the core blood of a sovereign beast is violent. Even a void refinement realm old monster would need to use countless spiritual herbs to harmonize the energy in order to refine a drop of the core blood of a sovereign beast. Even if Shirkuan is unrivaled among void glimpse stage experts, it's impossible for him to directly consume the core blood of a sovereign beast. You're right. This isn't the true core blood of a sovereign beast. It has already been diluted. It has probably only been 100% of its energy. That's why Shirkuan could directly consume it. Even if it is a diluted sovereign beast core blood, its value is still immeasurable. I didn't expect Shirkuan to be so fearful of venerated Ming. They had just exchanged blows for a short while, and he had already started to consume the secret medicine. Just like what the old monsters had said, the value of a sovereign beast's core blood was immeasurable. If it wasn't because Ning Fan had pushed him too hard, Shirkuan would certainly not be willing to consume this bottle of diluted core blood. He had once found the corpse of a sovereign beast in some ruins by chance. He dug out a beast core from the corpse and used a secret technique to refine a drop of sovereign beast core blood. For golden body cultivators, imperial beast core blood was a rare body tempering treasure. Shirkuan had kept that drop of sovereign beast core blood in his storage pouch all this time, keeping it close to him. He could not bear to give it to anyone. He was only willing to dilute a bit of core blood from the core blood and store it in a jade bottle as a secret medicine to temporarily increase his strength at a critical moment. If it wasn't for the fact that his physical body was weaker than Ning Fan's, he would definitely not be willing to consume this secret medicine. After consuming the secret medicine, Shirkuan's entire body was covered with black scales. His strength increased tremendously. Both of his fists were wide open, carrying an unparalleled aura force. He actually managed to block Ning Fan's attacks. As the battle continued, Shirkuan's aura force became stronger and stronger. Even though he had a bad character, his strength was not to be underestimated. He was definitely a famous figure in the Rain world. Stone Sword Slash. Shirkuan's aura force reached its peak. His eyes flashed with brutal killing intent. He made a grabbing motion with one of his hands. Countless broken stones on the ground suddenly flew up and condensed into a gigantic green stone sword. That gigantic green stone sword was also condensed by a magic technique. It was a low-grade mortal void magic technique. As soon as the sword light condensed, Shirkuan raised his sword and slashed. A green sword light swept across heaven and earth. The vast sky of tens of thousands of li was cut into pieces by the sword light, revealing the dark and gloomy hollow space. That ray of sword light was enough to kill any cultivator below the void refinement realm. Countless cultivators who were watching the battle held their breaths. However, Ning Fan was not bothered by such a powerful sword light at all. With the dazzling golden armor protecting his body, Ning Fan was like an ancient deity. He let the sword light slash on his golden armor without dodging at all. The slash of the sword light gave off a heaven-destroying and earth-shattering sound. The sword chi that leaked out pierced through countless layers of clouds. However, no matter how sharp the sword light was, it could not leave a single scratch on the golden armor. Ning Fan remained unscathed after taking on Shirkuan's slash head-on. The sturdiness of the primordial lightning armor once again shocked the world. Countless old monsters were speculating that perhaps even void inquiry stage old monsters would not be able to break through such a sturdy lightning armor. As long as Ning Fan has the lightning armor, Shirkuan would not be able to hurt him at all. In this battle, Ning Fan was already in an invincible position. Shirkuan fell into deep astonishment. He could not believe that he, a dignified old monster who was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts, could not hurt a half-step Void Refinement Realm Junior. How could this be possible? Art of Self-Manifestation. Ningfan took a step forward. Golden light shone around his body and condensed into two golden shadows. The two golden shadows were both at the first level of the golden body refining realm. One man and two shadows surrounded Shirkuan in an instant and launched their strongest attacks without mercy. Patches of the vast sky were shattered by the two shadows. Shirkuan, who was at the center of the attacks, managed to block Ningfan's attacks with his gigantic bluestone sword. However, his body was continuously hit by the two golden shadows, causing his injuries to gradually worsen. What kind of identity did he have? He was a dignified Void Refinement Realm old monster, who could move unhindered in the Rain World, and the lord of a Void Grade cultivation country. However, he was actually beaten to such a sorry state by a junior. How could he tolerate that? Zhou Ming, don't you go too far. The matter between me and the giant devil clan has nothing to do with you at all. Why do you have to interfere? I won't accept this. Qi Shirkuan coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood essence. His gigantic bluestone sword gave off an extremely dangerous and ferocious light. With a horizontal slash, the sky was cut into pieces and the earth was split into two. That was Shirkuan's furious attack. With his strength that was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts, it was already infinitely close to a Void Pierce stage attack. Such a powerful slash still could not break the lightning armor's defense. Ningfan remained unscathed. The two golden shadows, on the other hand, had one of their arms and one of their legs severed by Shirkuan's furious slash. Both of them were already severely injured. Shirkuan laughed complacently. His eyes were filled with madness and ferocity. Each of these golden shadows was at the first level of the golden body, refining realm. They had the strength of an ordinary Void Refinement Realm expert. But so what? Under Shirkuan's furious attack, even the golden shadows could only sustain severe injuries. Each of the old monsters who were watching the scene felt their hearts palpitate. The destructive power of that furious slash was enough to severely injure, or even kill an ordinary Void Glimpse stage expert. Shirkuan's strength was indeed worthy of his reputation. The title of being unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts was definitely not groundless. Ningfan's eyes turned slightly solemn. This Shirkuan was indeed very strong. If it was before he entered the Black Lightning Tower, he would certainly not be his opponent. However, after experiencing the trials in the Black Lightning Tower, Ningfan's combat power had skyrocketed even though his cultivation base did not improve. Both his offensive and defensive techniques had improved tremendously. People like Shirkuan were no longer worthy of his attention. In his devil form, Ningfan could kill a Void Inquiry stage expert. Facing Shirkuan, Ningfan did not even need to transform into his devil form. He was very confident that he could kill Shirkuan on the spot. You've gone too far. Zhou Ming. You're just a revered elder of the Rain Palace. How dare you offend me? You deserve to die. Shirkuan raised his sword and thrust it at Ningfan. He did not believe that he could not break the defense of Ningfan's lightning armor. So what if I've bullied you? Ningfan's black hair danced wildly in the air. His eyes flashed with a cold light. His right palm shone with thousands of rays of golden light, and he slammed his palm on Shirkuan's gigantic green stone sword. The force of that single slap was earth-shattering. Countless hollow spaces were forcefully shattered. When Shirkuan's sword was suddenly slapped by Ningfan, he only felt an unparalleled force colliding with his sword. His gigantic sword immediately shattered. At the same time, the injuries of the two severely injured golden shadows behind him strangely healed in an instant. Then they launched heavy attacks at Shirkuan's back. Boom boom, two rays of fist light landed on Shirkuan's back, shattering the black scale armor on his back. He fell from the sky like a kite with a broken string. He stared at the two golden shadows with extreme shock and anger. His face was filled with disbelief. How could this be? I've clearly severely injured your two golden shadows. Why can these two golden shadows recover in an instant? Shirkuan had no idea that these golden shadows were the product of the self-manifestation technique. Unless they were killed in a single blow, they could instantly recover no matter how severe their injuries were. With a loud bang, he crashed into the ground. His body created a gigantic pit that was several thousand zhang in size. When he crawled up from the pit, he was severely injured, but he was still alive. He was indeed worthy of his strength that was unrivaled among Void Glimpse stage experts. He raised his head and looked at Ning Fan. His eyes were filled with madness. A terrifying aura force spread out from his body. He had decided to use his strongest trump card to determine the victor of this battle. All the rocks on the ground beneath his feet began to move. It was extremely strange. Shirkuan's body emitted waves of evil ghostly light. His body began to grow in size in an instant. Tao of Ghost Stone, Stone God True Body. In just a few breaths' time, Shirkuan's body grew to 5,000 zhang tall, turning into a green stone giant. He held an ancient green stone shield in his left hand, and a gigantic green stone sword in his right. He let out a furious roar like an ancient god. At this moment, Shirkuan's combat power was already infinitely close to the Void Inquiry stage. This is the Fiend God True Body. Each of the old monsters who were watching the battle was so shocked that they could not utter a single word. Some of them did not know the method of Shirkuan's magic technique. Thus, they chose to remain silent. Some of them recognized the essence of this magic technique. It was too shocking and they could not believe it. Many fiend god cultivation methods had secret techniques that allowed one to transform into a giant. However, there were also different levels of them. An ordinary giant transformation could only be called the giant body. Even though their physical bodies were strong, they could not display the abilities of the ancient fiend gods. However, if one could cultivate the giant body to the extreme, they could cultivate the true body and possess the abilities of the ancient fiend gods. They could even have the chance to imitate the ancient divine weapons of the ancient fiend gods. Shirkuan's son, who was almost killed by Ning Fan, looked at his father, who had turned into a giant, with a face full of pride and admiration. Imperial Advisor, you guys look. This is my father's strongest trump card, the Stone God True Body. The cultivation method that my father cultivates is a fiend god cultivation method called Ghost Stone Divine Technique. It is rumored to be a cultivation method left behind by a revered god of the ancient stone clan. Not only did my father cultivate the Stone God True Body, but he also imitated the ancient divine weapons of that revered god. Look, the stone sword and stone shield that my father is holding are the divine weapons of that revered god. With these divine weapons in hand, no matter how strong that Zhou Ming is, he will not be a match for my father. Shirkuan's son did not conceal his voice at all. Those who were paying attention could hear him. Looking at Shirkuan, who had turned into a giant, they became even more fearful. From afar, an elderly man in golden robes and 5 pill masters were standing in the sky, watching the battle. The 5 pill masters were the pill masters of the Scarlet Heaven Palace, who were severely injured by Ning Fan. As for the elderly man in golden robes, he was the palace lord of the Scarlet Heaven Palace, Missouri Xiao. Mo Xiao's eyes swept across the battlefield. When he passed by Ning Fan, a hint of anger flashed across his eyes. However, due to the Rain Sovereign's order, he suppressed his anger. His eyes swept across the giant Shirkuan, and for the first time, his expression turned solemn. The Fiend God True Body, Humph. This Shirkuan is really impressive. He has actually cultivated the Fiend God True Body, and even imitated 2 ancient divine weapons. Even this old man would need to spend some effort to defeat Shirkuan. There's no need to watch anymore. Unless that Zhou Ming has a Void Inquiry stage cultivation base, he will definitely die today. Yu Lingkong was anxious. She did not expect that Shirkuan had cultivated the Fiend God True Body. Little Cucumber was really in danger now. She wanted to save him. Even Su Qiuling, who was usually calm, revealed a worried expression. She felt uneasy. Funqi was also worried about Ning Fan. It was not easy for her to fall in love with a man. How could she bear to see him in danger? However, no matter how worried the 3 ladies were, none of them intervened in Ning Fan's battle. That was the battlefield that belonged to Ning Fan. What they should do now was to trust Ning Fan. They believed that he would win. They believed that he would not lose. If you are like an eagle, I will accompany you to conquer the world. If you are defeated, I will accompany you to make a comeback. Shikuan raised his head and laughed coldly. His voice was like thunder. Zhou Ming. Ever since I condensed the stone god true body, this is my second time displaying it. For the first time, I used this true body to kill the strongest bandit cultivator in Shirla country. His laughter did not stop. Many old monsters were extremely shocked. Shirla country was once a country where bandits roamed freely. The strongest bandit leader was a void inquiry stage old monster. That bandit leader's void inquiry stage cultivation base had advanced to the next level using a secret technique. His cultivation base was superficial, and he could be considered as the weakest among all void inquiry stage experts. Even so, the weakest void inquiry stage expert was still several times stronger than a void glimpse stage expert. However, that bandit leader suddenly went missing and Shirla country was also wiped out by Shikuan alone. He killed countless bandits and took over the country. No one knew that the bandit leader was killed by Shikuan. The reason why Shikuan told everyone about this today was to let them know that he was so strong that he could even kill a void inquiry stage expert, let alone a mere Ning fan. The shield I hold in my left hand is called the 8-Chi shield. It can deflect all void glimpse stage magic attacks. The sword I hold in my right hand is called the 10-Fist sword. A single sword can deliver the strength of 10 void glimpse stage punches, which is comparable to a void inquiry stage attack. Zhou Ming, since you are able to die under the sword and shield of my fiend god true body, you should die without regrets. Shikuan's laughter was unbridled as if he was confident that he could kill Ning Fan. Ning Fan's eyes flashed with impatience. He was fed up with it. The game ends here. He clawed with his 5 fingers and absorbed all the souls of the earth. His magic power was comparable to a void refinement realm expert. He coughed out a mouthful of blood essence and suddenly summoned the 7 yellow dragon jade tokens. 7 layers of yellow skies appeared with great momentum. Each of the 7 layers of yellow skies was powerful enough to injure a void inquiry stage expert, and was comparable to a void inquiry stage attack. The combined power of the 7 layers of yellow skies was comparable to a void pierce stage attack. It was enough to severely injure a void inquiry stage expert, and kill all void glimpse stage experts. What kind of magic treasure is this? It's impossible. You are just a divine transformation realm junior. How can you have such a magic treasure? How can you activate a magic treasure of this level? All of Shikuan's complacency turned into panic at this moment. His 8-Chi shield could deflect all void glimpse stage attacks. However, each layer of Ning Fan's yellow skies had the destructive power of a void inquiry stage expert. The combined power of the 7 heavens was comparable to a void pierce stage attack. How could it be deflected? This is bad. We must run. The moment Ning Fan activated the yellow dragon 7 tokens, all of his arrogance turned into a sense of defeat. Each of the old monsters was shocked once again. Ning Fan actually had such a powerful technique. This kind of magic treasure was enough to make void inquiry stage old monsters fearful. As long as he has this treasure in his hands, which void inquiry stage old monster would dare to provoke him? Suppress. Ning Fan pointed a finger at the sky. The 7 layers of yellow skies fell down as if the sky was collapsing. That was the true might of the heavens. The weight of the 7 layers of yellow skies was immeasurable. The tremendous force of the impact flattened countless mountains and rivers. Shikuan waved his gigantic green stone sword and attacked desperately. Finally, he destroyed 1 layer of yellow skies, but it was suppressed by the other 6 layers of yellow skies. In just an instant, all of Shikuan's muscles and bones were crushed by the yellow skies. He let out a blood-curdling scream, and his giant body was crushed into a pile of meat paste. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. When the smoke and dust dispersed, the battlefield gradually quietened down. Shikuan had already left his true form, and was lying on the ground like a pile of mud. He did not have the strength to move at all, but he was still breathing. As for Ning Fan, he stood indifferently in front of Shikuan and said coldly, "I've told you that you can't afford to offend me. You just don't believe me." Cough cough. Zhou Ming. Revered Elder Zhou, it's not appropriate for you to kill me. You can't. I'm the Lord of Shirla country. I'm the Lord of the Rain Palace. Killing me is against the law of the world. You even know about the Rain Palace and the law of the world? You are the lord of a country conferred by the Rain Palace, while I am a revered elder conferred by the Rain Sovereign. You were the one who wanted to kill me first. The one who violated the law of the world is you. Even if you are the lord of a country, you should still be killed for trying to murder a revered elder of the Rain Palace. Boom Ningfan took a step forward and crushed Shirkuan's head, causing his physical body to die instantly. At the same time, he pointed a finger at Shirkuan's dantian and struck his primordial spirit, which was trying to escape in a panic. The tiny primordial spirit let out a miserable shriek and died with reluctance. Ningfan had killed the lord of Shirla country, Shirkuan. Not only did he kill him, but before he died, he even accused him of plotting against a revered elder of the Rain Palace and violating the law of the world. Thus, no one could hold him accountable for this matter. With a wave of his hand, Ningfan kept Shirkuan's storage pouch and scanned it with his spirit sense. There were a lot of good items inside. What made him especially satisfied was the jade bottle which sealed the core blood of a sovereign beast. The spoils of war were very generous. At the moment when Ningfan killed Shirkuan, countless old monsters were overwhelmed with shock. What did they just see? They actually witnessed the death of a Void Refinement Realm old monster with their own eyes. Moreover, that Void Refinement Realm old monster was the Lord of Shirla country. He was a ruthless person who had killed a Void Inquiry stage expert before. He was an unrivaled existence among Void Glimpse stage experts. He died just like that. Since Ningfan was able to kill Shirkuan, his strength was unfathomable. All of a sudden, countless old monsters who were watching from the sidelines fell silent. Their eyes were filled with fear and trepidation when they looked at Ningfan. Unlike these old monsters, many cultivators of the giant devil clan who rushed to the scene learned about the cause and effect of Ningfan killing Shirkuan. Knowing that Ningfan had saved the giant devil clan from being annihilated, each of them felt grateful from the bottom of their hearts. Venerated Ming is mighty. Their cheers resounded through the clouds and spread further and further. Eventually, it spread to the entire cold northern country. That you're tuning in to the Limei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.